where Sonic Bloom is, if you aren't familiar. PCP actually played our summer camp, which was awesome. But we teach a lot of classes, one of which is we do a stoner survival class, which is based on the book that I wrote. We do knots and things like that, first aid. We do sustainability, yoga, fitness. But one of those classes is blunts and crafts. And so we've done cross blunts, we've done woven blunts, also different. Shout out to my buddy Frank, who's always a big help with that class. He's a master roller. But so today we decided to keep it simple, do something that you can do at home, something that's easily accessible at your local smoke shop. So we're going to teach you how to roll backwoods. So if you've ever seen these 5-packs, they also have single packs at grocery stores and convenience stores. The single packs look like this. Backwoods are one of those blunt wraps that many people talk about, but it is not necessarily the most commonly rolled. When I started rolling blunts, I started with swishers, as many people do, because they're easy. And backwoods present a little bit of a challenge. When I was introduced to backwoods, actually, a buddy of mine was smoking. He'd smoke them by the inch, and he'd roll little inch-long blunts, and he'd snap them through his bong. So that never really worked for me. I wasn't necessarily a fan of that, but I did get into rolling them once I moved to Colorado, and I realized the main problem I was having was that I wasn't using enough weed. So the one thing I will tell you is if you are going to roll a backwood, you are going to probably need about a 1/2 to 2 grams minimum in your blunt. And that's just because when you compress the weed down, a backwood is just a thicker circumference, a larger diameter. That's just a longer circumference. It's a larger blunt even before you split it. So once you roll it up, you're going to need more filler than you would with a swisher or something like that. So one of the big things, a lot of the things that I'm going to tell you, you can do this with water. You can do it with cigar glue. You can moisten your cigar with those kinds of things, especially if you're rolling for other people. That's going to be an important factor. I'm wearing gloves, as you can see. It's actually because I have a cut on my hand and I have a Band-Aid, which makes it really hard to roll blunts. But if you're rolling for yourself, sanitation may not be as important as far as like licking the blunt. I'm going to be licking the blunt today because I'm home alone. But if you aren't, you can run the blunt under water. And then if it's too wet, throw it in between 2 paper towels and press it lightly, and that'll dry it out. But so in order to unroll your backwood, you may notice that it is a little dry. This is why I've mentioned the moistening factor. If you notice as you roll it, you'll see that there's a small fold where the backwood has actually been rolled up. Unlike a swisher that you would just break in half, you're actually going to unroll the cigar as it was rolled. And so I'm having a little bit of trouble doing that, as you can tell, because it was a little dry. So what I'm going to do is what I told you. I'm going to run it under the water. And you just run it for about 30 to 40 seconds. Medium temperature water. I would say not freezing, not super hot. You don't really need an extreme temperature here. The point is just add water to the wrap so that way it doesn't break as you try to unroll it. And I'm just patting it down here on a paper towel. But once you do that, you'll notice that it does become a little bit easier to unroll, and it's a little bit more forgiving. The other option, as always, is you can use your fingernails or your teeth. Teeth are really good at pulling these apart. But as you can tell, it's pulled apart now. There's a little rip down there at the bottom, which is not an issue, but you're going to notice that's what happened. So I'm going to discard my blunt gut in the trash can. You can save these as well if you don't have a humidor. Keeping the gut of your blunt, especially if you have 5-packs, emptying the blunts into the 5-pack will help keep the remaining cigars fresh. So as you can see, we have our backwood wrap. I'm going to use scissors, and I'm going to cut off this bottom end where we have the rip. And that's just going to make it easier for us to roll. Now keep that off to the side, because if you do end up ripping it or screwing up, it's nice to have a little Band-Aid. All right, so you're going to have, this is what your backwood looks like. You may be used to it looking kind of like this and you folding it in half. That's not what you're going to do with a backwood. A backwood is actually going to roll up around itself like so. And you're going to come and finalize it right down here near the mouthpiece. So that's how you want it to roll up. It's going to just kind of twist around itself, and the cannabis is going to go in the center as your filler. So now that you have that, you're going to want your cannabis. Depending on the buds you use, I highly recommend finger grinding or hand grinding your buds and not using a grinder. If you are using a bud that is really fresh or really sticky, you can use a grinder. This is some Scooby Snacks from Veritas that I grabbed from a cut above. Their stuff is really dense and really sticky, and that's a great quality to have in bud, but it also makes it a little bit hard to grind up quickly on camera. So I'm going to throw it in a grinder. If you do have to use a grinder, I recommend barely grinding it, and by that I mean 1 to 2 turns, nothing crazy. The reason I mention this is because grinders can and will powder your weed. One of the problems there is that it'll destroy your trichomes. All the nice, fun THC and cannabinoid containing aspects of the bud are going to get destroyed with a couple seconds of work. And so you don't want that. The other reason is if you do powder your bud up, there's a tendency to really compress your blunt as you roll it so that it's really hard, maybe resembling like a cigarette or even harder. And that's going to make it have really shitty airflow. You don't really want your blunt to be pulling, to make it really hard to pull the blunt. So if you hand roll it or if you lightly grind it, you're going to enable it to just be a little bit more chunky, a little bit more natural in its aeration, and that's going to give you a better smoke. The one thing I'll mention as I'm doing this as well, if you have toothpicks, I recommend using them. We're not going to use them yet, but you are going to use them when you finish the blunt. I'm going to try to give you some tips as we go along, but one of the big things with blunts is the longer you let them sit once they're rolled, the better and more evenly they're going to smoke. And obviously that hopes that you don't sit on it in your pocket in the meantime. But if you have a humidor, you have a Tupperware container with like a Bovita pack in it, you can let your blunt sit for 20, 30 minutes, even 5 to 10 after you roll it. Is going to make sure that the places that you lick aren't wet still, which are going to make it burn unevenly as the heat tries to dry out certain parts and burn other parts. But it also allows the oils that are in the flower, the cannabis that you're using, it allows it to merge with the oils from the tobacco and really provide a unique flavor profile that kind of blends together. All right, so now that we have our buds, the one thing I will mention is backwoods can get expensive. I understand that. A pack around here is like $8 after tax for a 5-pack, or $2 to $3 for a 1-pack. So if you don't want to add to that expense by blowing through a lot of your weed, you can practice using trim. Trim is a great thing to use for practicing. Obviously, if you have older dryer nugs, that's cool too. You can use shake ounces. Ideally, once you get the hang of it, you're going to want to be rolling with whatever tastes the best, because your backwoods is a higher end blunt wrap cigar. You don't necessarily want to be putting lower end product in it, especially if you're going to be smoking it, a half-eighth or an eighth at a time. Flavor really definitely takes the hold. So what I'm going to do is, in this wrap, this is going to be a little bit smaller than normal, obviously, because we cut off the edge. But I'm going to try to put the weed in the center, right down here in the column. If you can imagine the little rectangle where there's actually even coverage all the way through, that's where you're going to put the weed. You don't want to put it too close to either side, especially when you're learning, because when you go to roll it up, you're going to notice that unlike your swisher, you have holes at the ends that aren't perfectly covered because your wrap is uneven. So by rolling it in the center, you're allowing it to kind of roll over what you're putting in there. So that's what I'm going to recommend you do. The other thing that I recommend is I roll with a crutch. A lot of people don't like crutches, use crutches. If you're smoking by yourself, it definitely doesn't matter. But with a backwood, the wrap itself does not have a great firmness, especially for those people who aren't used to smoking them. I joke with friends, like, if you scissor the blunt, but if you hold it like this, especially if you let the filter sit here and the rest of the weed sit there, you're going to end up with a wonky looking backwoods by the time you get to the end of it. So I highly recommend a crutch. Made in Shaolin has great glass crutches at the end of their cigars that they offer. You can also use like Roar Funky Field Tips. They have some, artists are making ones that go around the outside as well. Or you can use a business card or cardstock. If you've got cardstock lying around, that thicker paper than printer paper, you can cut that into strips and use that for filters. I'm going to try to use the glass one here. I think it's great. I'm a big fan of theirs. And we're going to go from there. So I'm going to put the glass on one end, kind of get a sense of how far in. So if it's about 6 to 8, it's about 3/4 of an inch. So you're going to want to leave about that much empty so that you can put your crutch in. I typically put my crutch in as I'm rolling. Some people do it beforehand, but I find that it typically falls out and just is one more thing to worry about. So I'm going to put my cannabis here in the center. And I'm going to try to show you guys as I do this as well. I know it's a little bit hard to see. But what I'm doing is I'm just filling that center rectangle like I was telling you. Try not to put too much. I ground up a lot of weed over here, and what it's looking like is that I'm not going to have enough for all of it in the blunt. I mean, I probably could, but I'm trying to show you guys how to do it on a regular basis. So you want it just enough that when you kind of pinch your side, that you can kind of roll it evenly. I don't know if you can see this, but I want it so that as I'm starting to roll up the side, you notice that the weed fits underneath it. It's not mounding over. And also on this end, I still have a space here, and that's where this is going to sit. So your crutch is going to sit here. You've got your weed, and then as you kind of roll, you're going to compress the weed and make your roll go all the way around, which gives you a spot for your crutch. We're going to do this a couple times, so don't worry. All right. So as I pick the weed up, I want you to see how I'm holding it. I typically hold it in my hands like this. I use my index finger, my middle finger, and my thumb, and that allows me to kind of create a divot where the canoe of the blunt kind of sits. So then with the other finger, it's my poking. I use my index finger for my poking tool, and my thumb and my middle finger to help kind of compress. This way I can push the weed down from the top and from the sides at the same time. So if you start to notice your weed coming out of the top, which is very common, or on the bottoms, just give it a tap. I like to use my pinky. It's the smallest finger. It also means that you're not going to be ripping your blunt as you go. So the second you can kind of merge the two pieces of tobacco, give it a nice little lick right at the tip. You don't have to slobber all over it. With the backwood, in theory, the pull and the pressure from your roll should hold it together. You need to give it 2 licks, go for it, but it should kind of look like that right now. So, and you're just going to continue down the way. You're going to continue down the backwood, rolling it gently as you go. If you need to, I often lick it as I go. Just a little bit. You don't need to slobber all over it. You already wet it, especially if you use the water from a sink or a water bottle or something like that. You're just simply trying to adhese it together. And you will notice that some of the weed is going to start falling out on you, and that's okay. You can always add it back later. You don't have to fit all of the weed into one blunt, at least in many cases. So once you get towards the end, I recommend using a Sharpie or something similar, about the same diameter as your blunt, as the crutch that you're going to use. So that way you're not expanding it too much or, ripping the blunt as you do it. You want to kind of prep it for whatever's going to go in there. And then you're going to take your crutch, slide it in there, and gently press. You want to make sure that you hold the seal as you do that, because the weed is obviously going to be compressing and looking for a way out. All right. So now as you notice, I had a rip, and that happens. This one is this wrap is prone to ripping. So what we're going to do is we're going to leave it. We're going to set it down for a sec and get another one out. Backwoods are a hard wrap to roll, especially if they aren't the right consistency, the right humidity. I keep all of mine in a humidor, but as you can see that you still have some issues. So be prepared that, especially as you're learning, you may go through a couple backwoods when you roll one. But if it's any reassurance, you were putting a gram in a swisher, you're putting 2 to 3 in a backwood. So kind of like 2 to 3 blunts at once. I'm going to toss this in the trash. All right, so as you can see, this one unrolled without even having to put it in the sink. That's really nice. Again, if you need to, you feel comfortable, putting it under the sink, putting it under some water is going to allow it to be a lot more forgiving. You can also just lick it. Again, try not to slobber too much on it because otherwise you're going to need a lot more drying time. You're also going to have a lot of spit on there if you're sharing. Excuse me. The April allergy season has definitely caught me off guard in the midst of all of this COVID-ness. I recommend taking allergy medicine. So if you did what I did and you ripped your blunt, try to unroll it into the center of the other blunt so that you save yourself the hassle of having to reform that kind of cylinder, that core of the blunt that you're working with. So, and again, don't necessarily toss it because as you're working on this one, you may have an issue and you may need a Band-Aid. It's great to not have to tear down another blunt. So now that you've got your core in there, we're just going to start over again. Gently lick that tip, throw it down, and keep eating your way down the blunt. As you get towards the end, before you've got too many layers, go ahead and throw your crutch in there, or your glass tip, or whatever you're using. Now at the end, when you're rolling your crutch, the part that's specifically around the glass tip or the crutch, you want to make sure there's enough moisture in there that it seals, and you want to be able to easily join it all together, but you also don't want, again, to have too much slobber on there. It's going to take a lot longer to dry. It's also not necessarily great to put your mouth on a slobbery blunt. So if you roll it, I use Sharpies, wood pegs, things around to kind of compress down each end, just like I did with the crutch. To give it a nice flat finish, you can then take scissors and cut away any excess. Same with up top. Now again, you don't have to do this. This is just kind of, finishing touch. If you want it to look nice, you're just going to smoke it right away. It's not necessarily as important. Now that you have it like this, toothpicks are key. I seem to not have mine. Let me grab toothpicks. I recommend 2 toothpicks per blunt. So you have your blunt rolled. One side you've got your crutch, one side you've got your green. Gently and slowly, because you don't want to go diagonally through the blunt. The idea is that you're going to poke one toothpick in one side and one in the other. And that's going to create air chambers that start to form as the bud adjusts to the shape it's in. But you don't want those to go diagonal through the blunt because it's going to pull weird as you smoke. The idea here is to kind of create the perfect pull. Similar to a chillum or a pipe where you have an air chamber, this is going to create that natural air chamber in the blunt itself as it smokes. This is why if you use like a Canagar mold or something along those lines, there's a stick or a shish kebab skewer that goes right down the center. And what that does is it allows it to kind of have that airflow chamber during the compression process that you're putting the rest of the flour through. So now what we've got there, that's a rolled backwood. So now I'm going to do that another time, a little bit faster, just for the camera's sake. But I want you guys to see it again. There's many ways it can come out. You can have, if it comes out looking a little bit more baseball bat, that's fine too. The big thing there is that your crutch probably is a little bit smaller in diameter than the amount of weed that you put in the center of the blunt. If it comes out the opposite, then your crutch is too fat and you need to put more weed in or make a smaller crutch. So we're going to set this down. I'm going to put this in this humidor. As I said, humidors are really good for keeping your blunts. They're also good for keeping your cigars if you actually smoke cigars. But anyone who's rolled a blunt, if you've started to roll a blunt and not finished, or if you've left your rolled blunt sitting out on the table, they will dry out and they'll become fragile and they crack a lot easier. Zycar is a great company. They make portable humidors. I carry this in my backpack everywhere I go. You know, whether I have something rolled or whether I'm going to roll something, it's a great option. So I'm going to get a little bit more weed out, and we're going to roll another one of these. I've got about 10 more minutes with you guys, so I want to show you, make sure you get it again. But I don't know, Atlas, can you tell me if they are having any, is there any comments coming in? I can't see them from my screen. Yeah, shoot me with. Um, as someone who has a lot of glass, as someone who has tried, I used to sell vapes for a vape company. You know, I have a Puffco Peak, I have a Go Fire. I love each device I have for a lot of different reasons. The main reason I default to a blunt is it's easy. And it's not necessarily easy to roll, as kind of we've learned. There is a little bit of a trick to that, but it's easy to hand to someone and say, hit this. There's no wait 20 seconds, wait for this to vibrate, wait for the nail to cool down, you know, wait for it to whatever it is. You know, I love dabbing and I like a lot of different forms of consuming cannabis. But if I'm outdoors and I don't want to bring a torch and a rig and my dab kit and my ice box and like whatever else is necessarily necessary, you know, a blunt is great. You can roll it up and you can throw it into a tube. Mini M&M tubes are great. The pre-roll cone tubes from dispensaries often don't have the diameter to allow you to put a backwood in there. But something like this is great. You can just throw it right in there. Even throw like another humidity pack in there if you want. You can throw this in your pocket, and all you need is a lighter or a torch. And so I guess that's why I like it. I also started smoking on blunts. We used to go hike down at the trail because we couldn't smoke pot in our dorms. So we'd go down the trail and we'd always just roll up a blunt. It was an easy, portable way to bring the weed out there without, I mean, if you didn't have a bowl, if you hadn't invested in glass at the time, it's a great option. And there's a different high. When you combine nicotine with cannabis, I mean, it changes the high. Some people really enjoy that. Some people don't. You know, I smoke bongs all day, but I also enjoy the way a blunt high feels, tastes. There's something celebratory, you know, or relaxing about it, like similar to sitting down and having a glass of scotch. You know, like I'll take dabs all day while I'm working, but if you want to, you know, kind of end the day or begin the day on a nice note, you know, rolling up a nice stove and sitting down and having it is a great option.
Awesome. Any questions, Eddie?
Um, yeah. I'm sorry if you already went over this, but how often would you say that you roll blunts like this?
I would say that I roll between 2 to 5 blunts a day.
There you go.
I typically start and end my day with a blunt. But you know, additionally, if like for 420, for instance, like we're gonna be smoking a lot more. I just harvested my first crop, which has been exciting. So I saved some of that for today. Yeah, I mean, on a typical 420, when there's events and things, we'll go through 10 to 15 backwoods easily.
Oh yeah.
Nice. Well,
You got any
yeah.
questions?
Nah, man.
Have you smoked it?
Weed?
Yeah.
Absolutely, man. All day, every day.
So one more time for you guys at home. We're gonna do this quick. Here's a leaf that we've unrolled. I'm gonna lick it and get it ready. But hold on just a sec. So we're gonna put the weed into the center core of the blunt, making sure it's centralized, kind of making room for that carb cap, or not carb cap, excuse me, that crutch or the glass tip that we're going to use, making sure that it's even throughout, and trying to keep it in that center rectangle to avoid anything falling out. Now, as you pull it up, put it in that little gap that you created for that canoe, gently pressing it down with your pinky finger as you kind of hold it form with your left hand. For me, if you're right-handed, if you're left-handed, it's the opposite. And then you're going to bring the tobacco together. You're going to bring the wrap together and tuck that side in and lick the tip. Just enough to get that adhesion. And then just kind of follow it down as you go. Each way, you know, you just want to add a little bit of moisture, just enough that you hold that seal. And again, if you're doing this for people or you end up doing it at an event, I recommend using, you know, a cigar glue, which you can easily make using, you know, organic fruit pectin that you get at the store and water. It'll make a gummy concentration very similar to what is on the side of a joint paper. And so there's your form. You know, if you're using the cardboard or cardstock, just rolling that up, making sure that, you know, it's not too big, there aren't too many sharp edges, and then you're just going to throw it in there.
You said fruit pectin in water?
You know, fruit pectin and water. Play around with different consistencies depending on how sticky you want it. You know, but that is going to be a natural way to make a cigar glue. And that way, there's people who will tell you that you can use Elmer's glue because it's not toxic. It's not non-toxic to smoke. It's non-toxic to eat. Don't smoke Elmer's glue. That's a really bad idea.
There are better options.
There are better options. We rolled this one quick, but so you can see, we rolled another one here and just chopping off the edges, making it look a little bit nicer, a little bit more even, as you would see, you know, a final presented cigar. So again, if you have toothpicks are a great way. If you know, have one, I would say that depending on how thick, if you rolled it uniform, putting it at the mouthpiece is a great way. If you rolled it more like a baseball bat, where the top is a little bit bigger and it's more likely to have a lot more weed and resin in it as you smoke it, creating the air hole in the beginning is going to help you get that uniform burn. So those would be my tips that I recommend. And let's see here. These are the two blunts we rolled today. So hopefully, if you guys attempted it, if you guys are going to attempt it after you watch this later, tag me in the post, tag PCP in the post, at Cannabinoid, spelled with a Ben in the middle. My name's Ben. And at PCP Sucks. They're the ones hosting this event. I really appreciate them welcoming me on the stream. They've played some killer shows even for our event, so I really appreciate knowing those guys. They're a great group. And thanks for having me on, guys. Now we all have.
Thank you, Ben. We really appreciate it. That was really, really dope. That was a cool demonstration. I know, right? That was, especially, like, I had no idea about the little adhesion tip. That was really, really cool. Atlas, did you have something you wanted to add? Or like,
thanks. They have always ripped on me, and I just gave up on them. But now maybe I'll be able to be the coolest kid at the high school party. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, all it's recommend is if they do rip on you, you can soak the whole cigar in water. Get it soaking wet and unroll it when it's wet and just dry it out using a paper towel. You know, the big thing is if you do get it really wet, making sure that you let it sit and you let it sit in a place where it's not going to develop mold while it sits there. Obviously, I imagine you're not going to let it sit that long, but it's just something to be cautious of. The more moisture you have, the more likely you have for it to mold if you do let it sit around for a while.
Sweet. Well, that's awesome.
Fuck yeah.
Cool. Well, thank you again, Ben, for joining us and giving us that kick-ass demonstration. And the rest of you criminals, head over to the Facebook page. We're going to see Craig doing some cool painting and getting a little music in us.
We're gonna put up Ben's info so you guys can add him at Cannabinoid, all that good stuff.
Yep.
Thanks for having us, Ben. We hope we can get out and do some more disc and dabs soon. That That's great. I mean, social distancing kind of works for distant guys. It's like golf, right? I don't
Yeah.
know.
Stand 6 feet.
Outdoors, really, you know, hiking, camping, you're spacing out, but we got to follow, you know, the rules. As long as the rules allow us to throw events, we'll be back throwing them for the rest of the season. But want everybody to stay safe in the meantime.
Awesome.
All right.
Well, it's great talking to you, bud. We will see you again soon. Yeah. Again, check
Yep.
out Caminoid, check out Can Adventure, and we should probably smoke
But-
something on camera. I mean, you guys should smoke something while you're.
Oh,
I mean, it is 420.
we only had the one that Atlas tried.
Well,
He walked off with it.
Alice is a failure. We know that. So
Oh,
why don't we
man.
try- I mean, Ben can smoke something.
Yeah, Ben,
Oh,
there we
there
go.
it
Look
is.
at there it is. Thanks, Ben. Ben to the rescue. See, he's such a great guy. Check
That's something.
all of his info. All of his info will be in the comments. We'll be dropping all of his links to his socials and yeah.
Social. We're not driving a social.
Oh, we're not dropping a social. Hey, he doesn't know what he's talking about as usual. But thanks again, Ben. Thanks for ripping the bong, and we will talk to you guys soon.
Thanks, Ben.
Talk to you soon.
That was Ben, guys. That was Ben.
That was Ben.
I mean, he's still there. He's
I mean, we can still like wave and as we figure out
No,
how to
he's
end
gone.
the. Oh no, he's
Bye,
gone.
Ben. See you
Bye. Can they still see? I mean, no one can see Eddie. He's not in the
in and
screen.
out.
in and out.
I know. You gotta lean forward. You gotta. They're.
when I don't see.
I mean, you just gotta use your imagination.
Okay, you gotta feel it.
You gotta wave yourself.
When Nick
in.
was next to me,
His
he
mass.
was more mass. And
Just created more. I'm leaning forward though. The mass up here is setting a precedence. Wait. Oh, see, there you go. A little closer. A little closer.
the pineapple.
You gotta get into the pineapple. Here, see. Oh, no, maybe if we do. Oh, there he is. You're there for a second. We almost had Eddie. Eddie's a ghost now. He's a ghost. Oh, look at him. He's like a specter. Do you think I can like poke through him? Oh, it kind of looked like it, didn't it? Did you feel anything?
I felt it. It really poked me.
Oh, well, okay, fair point. Have you taken that dab yet? Or are you waiting
No.
until
What time
420?
is
Did you decide?
Well, we can. I'll think about it.
Oh, you're doing an
wanna
awful
smoke.
lot of thinking for 420,
I
bud.
want to go in the chronological order of the way weed smoking developed over time.
So you're gonna start with the plant stuff and build your way up, ending with like dab pen kind of thing, the most futuristic. I think that we have all of those configurations of weed in the PCP house. That's. I mean, we got a jar of weed right here. Look,
I
you
ate
could
some-
start with
some-
this. You could start with this jar.
I ate some stuff.
You
I
could
don't know.
start. You could start with the earliest and just eat it, not even smoke it.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. It just yep. There it is. Nice handful of
Is that here?
stems. That's what you want. It'll floss your teeth as you eat it.
I don't want human hair in there.
This is one of the hairiest guys in
I
the
don't
house.
eat my hair.
Well, but how can you not? There's so much of it. So, how's your 420 starting off? Started with eating stems.
This tastes a lot different than it did back then.
You were there back then?
You would have heard. I didn't read about it.
My goodness. Well, we're going to be hopefully streaming over at Facebook soon with Sir Craig, Papa Craig, as we call him. He's done a lot of really cool paintings recently. We posted some of them to the Facebook page.
I think he's posted them to there's a page out there.
Oh yeah, there's a quarantine art page that he's been posting stuff to. Really neat stuff. I'll only sell him its PCP. He's not as obsessed with it as we are, but he's definitely, or maybe he is. I don't know. He does love this a lot. He does love Nate a lot. But he's been posting a lot of art, and we get to actually see him do some of it today.
Yeah, it's pretty.
Did you hear
trippy
about
stuff.
that? He's gonna be sitting there painting.
Mhm.
Yeah,
It's
it's gonna be a fun time.
So we're gonna play some New Lounge Wizard until we get set up upstairs, and then
Yep.
all right.
Enjoy,
I
criminals.
figure out how to put Ben's information up so you guys can all contact him and stuff. And
Yep.
this song, speaking of quarantine, is called "Quarantine and Wine Mixer." Enjoy.
sorry. But I don't want to be an emperor. That's not my business. I don't want to rule or conquer anyone. I should like to help everyone if possible. Jew, Gentile, black man, white. We all want to help one another. Human beings are like that. We want to live by each other's happiness, not by each other's misery. We don't want to hate and despise one another. In this world there's room for everyone, and the good earth is rich and can provide for everyone. The way of life can be free and beautiful, but we have lost the way. Greed has poisoned men's souls, has barricaded the world with hate, has goose-stepped us into misery and bloodshed. We have developed speed, but we have shut ourselves in. Machinery that gives abundance has left us in want. Our knowledge has made us cynical, our cleverness hard and unkind. We think too much and feel too little. More than machinery, we need humanity. More than cleverness, we need kindness and gentleness. Without these qualities, life will be violent, and all will be lost. The aeroplane and the radio have brought us closer together. The very nature of these inventions cries out for the goodness of men, cries out for universal brotherhood, for the unity of us all. Even now, my voice is reaching millions throughout the world. Millions of despairing men, women, and children, victims of a system that makes men torture and imprison innocent. To those who can hear me, I say, do not despair. The misery that is now upon us is but the passing of greed, the bitterness of men who fear the way of human progress. The hate of men will pass, and dictators die, and the power they took from the people will return to the people. And so long as men die, liberty will never perish. Soldiers, don't give yourselves to brutes. Men who despise you, enslave you, who regiment your lives, tell you what to do, what to think, or what to feel, who drill you, diet you, treat you like cattle, use you as cannon fodder. Don't give yourselves to these unnatural men, machine men with machine minds and machine hearts. You are not machines, you are not cattle, you are men. You have the love of humanity in your hearts. You don't hate, only the unloved hate, the unloved and the unnatural. Soldiers, don't fight for slavery, fight for liberty. In the 17th chapter of St. Luke it is written, the kingdom of God is within man, not one man nor a group of men, but in all men, in you. You, the people, have the power to create machines, the power to create happiness. You, the people, have the power to make this life free and beautiful, to make this life a wonderful adventure. Then in the name of democracy, let us use that power. Let us all unite. Let us fight for a new world, a decent world, that will give men a chance to work, that will give youth a future and old age a security. By the promise of these things, brutes have risen to power, but they lie. They do not fulfill that promise. They never will. Dictators free themselves, but they enslave the people. Now let us fight to fulfill that promise. Let us fight to free the world, to do away with national barriers, to do away with greed, with hate and intolerance. Let us fight for a world of reason, a world where science and progress will lead to all men's happiness. But they enslave the people. Now let us fight to fulfill that promise. Let us fight to free the world, to do away with national barriers, to do away with greed, with hate and intolerance. Let us fight for a world of reason, a world where science and progress will lead to all men's happiness. But they enslave the people. Now let us fight to fulfill that promise. Let us fight to free the world, to do away with national barriers, to do away with greed, with
Ready?
so.
You guys ready to do this?
Let's do this.
We're going to the
Yeah,
shed.
question call.
a world where science and progress will lead to all men's happiness. But they enslave the people. Now let us fight to fulfill that promise.
Wrong.
Going to the shed.
This guy's going over.
Going to the shed.
Someone else just got a really shitty score on their SAT.
Yeah, this says Rich. My name's Nick. This ain't
Hi,
my
I'm
score.
Nick.
Is this all right?
haven't actually been in here.
Ever? You've never been in a shed?
You've never even like smoked a joint before, have you?
Nope.
No.
Oh.
No.
Oh.
This is
I
a
wish you were dressed as
monumental
Popeye
moment.
now.
Do you hear this, criminals?
I figured if there was a time to
My black coat.
All right, it's 4:19.
Ooh.
You loaded with a
Stuff it
fork,
all
right?
up.
Hit the toast.
I haven't actually been in here.
Ever? You've never been in a shed?
You've never even like smoked a joint before, have you?
Nope.
No.
No. Oh.
This is
I
a
wish you were dressed as
monumental
Popeye
moment.
now.
Do you hear this, criminals?
I figured if there was a time to
Remember when we were here? You could be.
You don't need that.
You don't need that much.
System, no.
You guys like weed?
Wait, is that what we're doing in here?
You ever been in a
Shit,
shed?
I'm in the
You ever
wrong
been in a
shed.
shed?
I'm in the wrong shed. Yeah, right? I need to go one shed over.
Is this a tough shed?
Nice one. It's not even that bad.
It's tough.
Ooh, look at that nugget.
I will. This shed is
Look
brought
at
to
this. Look at our
least.
floor placement. Let's get into hello.
I will commit to at least 3 full seconds after.
It'd be cool to do this on Halloween, but make it on
Wait, is
house.
that what we're doing in here?
Maybe we don't tell
And
any
dark
kids.
and no one can see. Just make weird noises.
We don't have 5 or 6.
It's that Godwin. Is this a tough?
Dogs. Why are all the dogs in here?
Crying in there? Just follow the humans.
Look at, you can see it starting.
Dang.
Trickles of smoke.
I thought it would take like.
It'd be cool to do this on Halloween, but make it on house. Maybe we don't tell
And
any
dark
kids.
and no one can see. Just make weird noises. We don't have 5 or 6. Well, now my fucking toaster's true.
Wow.
It's
You
surprising.
can't just get them out. They're not like Pop-Tarts. You know what else you can't buy at a vending machine? Rotisserie chicken.
Weed.
Actually,
Yeah.
I've been to
yeah.
Costco. The one for the moment.
The Costco?
Yeah.
The Costco.
There's Costco's all over. But
How's that
Yeah,
brisket
this might be one of the better ways to hotbox a shed.
Yeah.
No passing joints around, no annoying shit.
Not my fucking-
Jen, you look like a ghost because
Definitely
like.
seems a lot faster.
We're maintaining some social
There we
distance. We're taking like the midget effect.
Here we go. We're getting
But
going.
we all live in the same house. How are you supposed to distance social?
Yeah.
You sit on
Yeah.
that couch.
That's
Sit on the other
funny.
couch.
Give him shove.
You sleep.
Hotbox.
It's like a troll shit. It's on fire.
That's the idea, man. Look at it go. Look at it go.
Jen, you look like a ghost because like. Oh, you thought there was actual toast?
I thought we were eating.
We're taking like the midget effect.
Here we go. We're getting
But we
going.
all live in the same house. How are you supposed to?
Eating the stuff?
No
Have you
toast.
never been in here for the
Paninis?
toaster?
I've never been in here.
No.
Promise free pie and punishment.
Starting to fill up. Starting to get there.
Oh, and the colors are starting to hit the fucking smoke.
Yeah, there we
Look
go.
at that.
Oh my
It's a little
God.
psychedelic looking for it.
Yeah. I brought that in there.
I'm freaking nervous.
Yeah, dude.
Would you like face it?
Yeah, Rich.
It smells like
Yeah.
Smells like Thanksgiving.
I want to go to your Thanksgiving.
Well, that's like plumes of smoke. It's not just like,
Plumage.
it's like smoking a little
Look
bit.
at all the plumage.
Oh, I think we lost the camera.
Oh, no. Where is
That
it?
camera's high as
Where's
fuck.
the camera?
I'm gonna see how tough this shit is.
We have
Don't put a liquid on it this time.
I'll
Don't,
just
yeah,
put
don't.
this over there with the rest of the
Oh, sounded a little more like Wario there, Mario.
Okay, all right, I'm out.
It burns.
I'm gonna live.
Green.
All right, back to work.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Marijuana.
420.
420.
Nothing like hotbox in the shed.
420, guys.
Did you just call your Corona on me, bro?
Ah.
No, it's a Keystone.
Oh, never mind. Don't worry.
We want to thank you for being here for this.
Just smoke
Hanging out in the shed. 420.
You gotta smoke.
We had a couple people left.
That's where you're going wrong, CDC.
Most of the band has left.
Took a bunch of coronavirus, put it in shit.
Starting to get in your eyes.
I'm getting
Oh,
woozy. I'm just kidding.
Oh,
I'm getting wobbly.
Well, 420. Just you and me, I guess.
talking. I'm gonna see if Rich will play some
Yeah.
acoustics for us in the pool.
Woo! Yeah. Times like these, you just want to take a deep breath. Ah. Oh man. 420 on 420, nothing like it. Full shed, full of smoke. There, debating in 420. Smoke until you choke and lose the power. To speak. Oh. How long's it been? How long have I got? 4 minutes. What needs after a good old-fashioned hotboxing is a nice, relaxing, poolside beer with your favorite band, People Corrupted People.
Yowza! That's cold, guys.
Oh.
You know what?
Yeah, I mean, you can see
You complain about cold. It's
the shed,
hot out,
all the
isn't it?
smoke boiling out of the shed. It's our hot box escaping.
Get that little spoon thing on. Give it a nice crotch shot. Yeah. Angle it up. It'd be kind of cool on the angle. We could also do the grill too. What are you guys tinkering around with?
I don't know. I mean, just trying to get over that.
Tell us about your first experience in the shed, Rich.
That fucking sucked. That's like one way to get real sleepy really quick.
Yeah, right?
And forget stuff.
Look at this. It's still just.
Forget about stuff really fast.
There you have it. Last of the smoke billowing out. Oh. My eyes are so watery.
You want to play some in it? I can grab you a pick. I can pick your dick. I can pick for you.
I mean, yeah, put some talent on there first, man. Like, I don't want to, start the show. Not that I don't
We're
want
only filming like 2 minutes, so,
Yeah,
so you can
I
film
got
like
it.
talking, you can film whatever. Tell the people about Angels.
Sure.
I mean, this is just going to stay live on Facebook.
Yeah.
We're probably going to say
Just play, fucking something about lounges. Yeah, jam like some blues. Did somebody else make this song? That makes sense if it was a cover. Feel whereabouts around me. That's like a beachy, yeah. Summer waves made in Mexico. It's the only place to have beaches, right? Oh, kazoo this shit. Yeah. That kazoo, man. When it hit. Oh, sit down.
I know what to do about the kazoo. That was really bad.
I wonder why. I wonder why. Let's get some water.
Well, it's a good thing you're at one of Colorado's many oceans. You can quench that thirst.
Fresh
we
body of water.
were under the impression that you were gonna
Oh, whoa, that's really cool.
give us a little like wade in the water, but wade your body.
Yeah, I got these all clothes on now. Forgot about the pool. Or I forgot that we were going to the beach.
Yeah, you wouldn't think in Colorado.
Yeah, I didn't expect to catch a fish today. So.
Well,
But yeah, apparently there's fishing there. You should go fishing. Absolutely. Yeah. Well, were you in the shed?
it's still happening.
Yeah, you can
I
go
didn't
back.
think that was
Oh my
work like
god.
that. Is there still fire there?
No, I think it's still just leaking
Yeah.
fire.
Slow.
Or smoke, not fire.
That's gonna
It's
be
only
gone.
leaking smoke. I like fire better. Sounds kind of
It's just leaking a little fire.
Enough to be
Nothing to worry about.
a little bit of fire.
Want to kazoo it?
That was nice. What are you guys gonna call that?
Oh, it's freaking
We'll call it Shack and Suck.
Yep. Yep.
Shack and Suck.
Sounds about right.
Shack and suck.
I was hoping like
Instead of
Mexican
shacking
summer
up.
wave.
Shack and Suck.
Shack and suck. Shack and suck on the way to the Mexican wave pool.
Yeah, man.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Woo.
Rolls off the tongue. Rolls off the tongue.
That's a fucking
Pure poetry
that
right
just
there.
stayed with you.
There's nothing else it could be. When
Well-
something comes to you like that,
What else you guys got?
You got any
We
Mexican
didn't
summer?
prepare anything. So
I know you
do?
didn't.
I
This
guess
is off the cuff. This is Improv
No,
City.
I'll do a
I wanna
Kazoo.
Kazulu it.
Kazoo it. I wanna go see if we.
Yeah, but I only got like a
Wanna
then
sit?
give me this hand for beer and
I need another beer.
sit.
Let me grab another beer.
Bring floaties.
I mean I got these fucking things in my shoes, but no, they don't float.
Once you get used to the water, it's nice.
Right? That water's real nice. It's hot out today.
Trying to replace me?
Replace me that easily? You're so much more than a beer, man. We go together like lemon, 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 ding, ding, dong. Forever, I show up, show up, give it a rope, you up. Change, 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 pop. That's the way it should be. We're one of a kind, like yippee, swap, swap, rope. Our hands aside, boogie, 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 swap, swap. Change, 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 pop. We'll always be together. Should have went with something different there. When we go out at night and stars are shining bright, hungry up the sky. I don't know what he says there either. Or at the high school dance, where you can find romance, baby, it might be love. Song's a bunch of ramble-lambas and damnity bops and shit. It fucking doesn't matter. Play something from Mario, man. I want level 2.
I've been meaning to tell you guys this. I am not actually Mario.
What?
I lied to you, and I'm sorry for that.
That means you can't cook Italian?
Nah.
Fuck you,
Not
dude.
at all. I don't even,
Turn the camera off.
I don't
We
even
have to
like
turn the-
Italian.
I'm leaving this.
This is life changing.
No,
I'm
that's not
upset.
true.
I am upset. Oh.
Sorry to let you guys down. But,
I mean, you know.
you know.
Simon
You could have
says.
told us you were black.
Simon says nice.
That's racist. I'm not though. I don't think he's black. I don't see color. I thought he was Italian and fat fucking and fat.
I thought we were saving Italians
cartoon.
for him to cook. I have all those dead bodies in the freezer. What are
Is
we
that why
gonna
you
do
were
with them
pink?
now?
Do you see pink?
Yeah, I mean, like,
Yeah, it's a little hot. I'm working my tan. Get at the beach. No.
You know what you are? You just dip your butthole.
Is that like a chai tea?
You think like
I was thinking like
your
tea
hands
bag and
feet are
balls.
is that what you were doing in here earlier?
Good thing I took that ladybug out.
I told you I was exercising. That was true as well. I was
called
exercising my
out of
rights
court.
to rinse my
Don't play that one.
Butt Kegels?
If you're allergic.
butt kegels.
Does it make your ass tighter?
I mean, it's
No,
cooler.
it definitely doesn't.
I mean, that's, yeah. Because then if you have big shit, you want to kind of lose. Or you tighten that.
I mean, I can expand and contract like alligator mouth.
You could dilate to 10.
Hippopotamus.
Nice.
No contractions.
Like hungry.
Or wait.
You
No,
got
We're losing them. No one's
You
watching
got
anyway.
teeth? You got
Simon says nice foot booties, by the way.
Thanks, Simon.
Oh, they're wet.
They met the goal.
They were nice.
They're so.
What are those made out of? Cashmere?
Blue.
Blue cashmere.
I think it's blue tissue.
You just made those.
Oh.
You complained about getting wet and you soaked your foot. The worst part
They were
of your
already wet. Now I
clothes
cooled my
wet.
toes off.
You know? I hate wetsuit shoes.
I was wearing cloth shoes, so I'm like,
You're
that fucking sucks
Which?
now. Squish everywhere. Just on my right foot.
My.
Well, you want to fuck around with another song?
Yeah, we'll see that.
Yeah, that last one was fucking.
Got any more Grease tunes?
Gold.
Yeah, dude.
Gold.
Can you play the one?
Blue moon.
Grease 2.
Grease 2? No, no one knows that soundtrack, dude.
Well,
Why would you know
Do you know the score to Mamma Mia?
I guess I'm the only one who watched their fan films then.
Well, then there was the spin-off, Lark, right? A lot of C actors in that one. And Kathy Griffin.
Yeah.
Hi, Kathy. I don't know you.
That was Griffith.
Does it matter?
Kathy Griffith.
Oh,
Yeah. You get my foot wet. Foot everywhere.
You realize what's happening, man? Sorry. All right. Look,
It just leaked all over his foot.
you can just.
At this
You
point.
guys think you can just
And there it is.
blame everything on me now?
All right.
Now we can play a song.
Yeah.
Do it.
I can't stand.
No, don't stand. You'll be out of frame. Maybe out of frame. I don't know. Sitting's
This
fine.
seems like the right place for my
You can
foot.
see his. You can see his feet. Just
Do
it's
it.
fine.
All right. You might recognize this from Harry Potter. The movie? No. The book.
I was playing it in Barnes & Noble the first time. I bought it.
Now it's a party.
I was like, what is he gonna say? Anything?
I feel like Princess Peach here.
It's kind of a fucked up story if you think about it.
That whole game is a fucked up premise in, like, okay, so there's a plumber. He eats mushrooms. He starts seeing dinosaurs.
Banging a
They
peach.
take his chick. Like, it's
I
like,
don't appreciate you talking about me like this.
you're not Italian.
Oh yeah.
His-
That's true.
Now I guess we're left with bangers and mash. Shit.
Is that the movie?
The soundtrack.
Bring him in too. I don't know.
Remashed. Said I wanted these goddamn potatoes clumpy.
That's baked.
What the fuck is that?
That's fucking where I stopped because of hurt.
That's where I stopped. You started doing a SpongeBob and he came up. Hurt. It was meant to be a tattoo. And I stopped. Fuck. Said, you know what?
I mean,
I'm good with a
tattoos
box.
hurt.
When did you do that?
Hurt most.
When did you do that one?
2 weeks ago. I think I'm ready to try again.
I wish I was making
Coincidentally, that's how we got a third dipper.
I wish I was making that up. That's the first time I've ever seen that.
He has no eyes. Happy day!
He's got one hand in
Oh no! Oh dear! Oh my! That's we got L'chaim.
Welcome to the beach.
L'chaim has arrived.
You ruined your new shoe. I just bought you those.
It was Rich on the left one.
Yeah.
The right one was on me.
That's the last time
Whoa,
you
my
get any
shoes are wet.
Jordans. You're not getting any
Yeah,
more
dude.
Jordans.
That's good. These goddamn Jordans are a ripoff at
I
Walmart.
see there's a good deal on them at Letgo. On Letgo right now, Jordans. Someone
They let 'em go?
down in Commerce City is selling like a rip of them.
There's a huge deal on Kobe's on Letgo.
Steaks?
No, helicopters.
Oh! I didn't
No?
know they made helicopter.
No?
It's
Kobe
like
Bryant?
Yeah.
a beef helicopter.
He was thinking of getting into
sorry, but I don't want to be an emperor. That's not my business. I don't want to rule or conquer anyone. I should like to help everyone if possible. Jew, Gentile, black man, white. We all want to help one another. Human beings are like that. We want to live by each other's happiness, not by each other's misery. We don't want to hate and despise one another. In this world there's room for everyone, and the good earth is rich and can provide for everyone a way of life. But I don't want to be an emperor. That's not my business. I don't want to rule or conquer anyone. I should like to help everyone if possible. Jew, Gentile, black man, white. We all want to help one another. Human beings are like that. We want to live by each other's happiness, not by each other's misery. We don't want to hate and despise one another. In this world there's room for everyone, and the good earth is rich and can provide for everyone a way of life. But I don't want to be an emperor. That's not my business. I don't want to rule or conquer anyone. I should like to help everyone if possible. Jew, Gentile, black man, white. We all want to help one another. Human beings are like that. We want to live by each other's happiness, not by each other's misery. We don't want to hate and despise one another. In this world there's room for everyone, and the good earth is rich and can provide for everyone a way of life. But I don't want to be an emperor. That's not my business. I don't want to rule or conquer anyone. I should like to help everyone if possible. Jew, Gentile, black man, white. We all want to help one another. Human beings are like that. We want to live by each other's happiness, not by each other's misery. We don't want to hate and despise one another. In this world there's room for everyone, and the good earth is rich and can provide for everyone a way of life. But I don't want to be an emperor. That's not my business. I don't want to rule or conquer anyone. I should like to help everyone if possible. Jew, Gentile, black man, white. We all want to help one another. Human beings are like that. We want to live by each other's happiness, not by each other's misery. We don't want to hate and despise one another. In this world there's room
I'm here, I'm here, I'm here. Let's see. Can you hear me, bud? Can you hear me?
I can. What's up, baby?
Oh, what's up, dude? Sorry, we're experiencing PCP technical fees.
For sure. No worries.
We're live, finally, kind of, sort of, with oh, so you know, some people say live. I say live say. The one and only Eric live say from A Little Off. Thanks for coming on the show, Eric. How's your 420, bud?
Good, it's pretty good. For not being a smoker, it's all right.
I know, dude. That's a rough place to be, is Colorado, and not a smoker. I'm a drinker.
I did my share for sure. Yeah, no fucking doubt. It's been a good few months, but I'm feeling all right. I got me some vanilla porter.
There you go.
Getting down.
What kind of porter are you drinking?
Vanilla porter. Breckenridge Brewery.
Oh, from Brecky, eh?
Yeah, that's right.
You don't say. Well, I say, live say.
You say.
We have an awesome history. You and me. We went on my first tour as a. I'm not a professional musician, but my first tour as a musician, and it was a dream come true for me, and I know for Nick, and then 3 days in, most of my band quit, and that I'll never forget. Pretty much the story goes that we got really drunk in Elko, Nevada, and that was great, but not great also, because then, like I said, my drummer and bassist, who shall remain nameless and fameless, they quit like 2 days into a 2.5 week tour, and I'll never forget the moment that Livesay, he looks behind. I'm in the back of the van. I'm freaking out. I'm like, oh Jesus! Like, here we go, classic PCP. And I'll never forget. Livesay looks back at me and he just says, "Hey man, I'm a fast learner." And I was just like, all right, maybe I can fucking do this. So cheers to you, but I'm only drinking PBR. This is not vanilla porter, but cheers, bud. That was one of the best moments of my life because it kept me going. I want you to know that. So.
Yeah, that was pretty intense. That was definitely a challenge in being adaptive for sure, but it was fun.
Well, it was just such. I think it was just such a virgin experience and voyage for a lot of us and all of us. And then for me, it was funny because we left in the van. There was 13 or 14 of us, packed ass to elbows, and we just like. We set out on our adventure, and then I'll remember, like, again, on the way back, I don't know, you were probably in the van. I think you were there. You still rode back in the van, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought so too. Yeah, you were the Legolas. That's right. Yeah, you didn't fire the Aragorn, whatever you want. No, but that's what it felt like to me. Is honestly, I don't know if you're watching and you haven't, but if you ever driven like from the Northlands back like into Denver, like through the fields, it's very like it's just flatlands. It's kind of boring and bullshit. But on this way back, again, we left the van with 14 people in it. It's just packed, and on the way back, Denver was doing this thing where to the east it was all fucking stormy and fucking Mordor looking-y, and then to the right there's the Rocky fucking Mountains, and it was all fucking sunny and awesome and beautiful. And then I looked to the left, it was fucking crazy, and I looked to the right and it was beautiful, and then I looked like just in the van and there was like fucking 6 of us left. It was like I was like, holy, this is the fucking end of the Lord of the Rings. Holy shit, like none of us fucking made it. Like, oh my god. And yeah, just for me, it was like, I'll never forget those experiences, and just all the, I feel like the lifetime of friendships that we really kind of formed on that one too, because it's like, that was put up or shut up, and I really found that was my biggest moment when I was thinking like, man, I feel like I was built for this, and that was the proof for you. It's not only are you made for this and you make it look easy, but you join an extra band while on tour. Who the fuck does that? You're like, yeah, my band's okay. I'm just gonna join an extra one just to challenge myself. So, yeah, I don't know. What was? Go ahead.
That was definitely a big part of it. I mean, I like taking on challenges like that, and it was fun. It was just interesting. And I mean, I linked to your guys' music pretty easily, I mean, it was definitely like, very similar to a lot of the stuff that I grew up listening to or getting into, and I just, bonded with you guys' music really well. I just felt like, it was something I could jump into pretty quickly, yeah. Absolutely.
I mean, hands down, you're the best, like, and easily the most talented. And I'm not blowing smoke up your ass because I can't reach that high, but you're definitely the best guitarist I've ever met. But the other thing too is I for those that don't know, I wouldn't really call it an audition. It was a pity jam that I did with Lil Off for a while because I was trying to be the second guitarist for a while, and it's not that I couldn't get the stuff that Livesay was playing. I was getting there, but it was just I didn't want to be the fucking what's the fucking the fat guy in fucking, I didn't want to be Jack Black to your Kyle Gass. I guess that's the best way to describe it. I was trying to think of fucking the lead singer of Sum 41 who like just can't even play guitar, and then the real guitarist plays all the shit. But it was such an honor and such a crazy experience to be able to play with you guys and be able to play with Seth and BJ, and just to be able to see, we're all kind of the same same weird motherfuckers, but the music is what really unites us, and that's why I personally can't wait until you guys have some fucking music. I know Alice is he'll finally let those kids that he kidnapped out of the basement once you release the album. That's what he said. So
Yeah, I know Alex is ready.
I know.
I'm so ready. It's been like, I mean, we've been together for a little over 2 years now, and I mean, just been really struggling to get this out there, one thing after another. But we're very close. We actually, and this is the first time I'm saying this, but we got our first single mastered and ready to release. We just got it today.
Oh, awesome! Hell yeah!
This afternoon, yeah. So that's gonna be like right around the corner.
Happy 420. That's good news. Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah, totally. Absolutely is.
Which do you know? Which song is it?
The Fight.
Oh, we got The Fight. We got Fight. Yeah, that's the one I could almost play. That's the one I could play the best. But it's still really, really tricky. Yeah, no, that's amazing. Tell us a little bit where were you guys? Where'd you guys record? What was a little bit about the process, the recording process?
Well, we recorded at Rusty Sun Audio with Nick Nordrup.
Okay.
And he's down in like the Parker area. He's got like a home recording studio.
Nice.
So it's real nice. It's real nice.
Sweet.
And he does good work. I think he does a little bit more like heavier bands more often, but he's got a history of like being like the 90s Fat Records kind of music and shit like that too. So that's not alien to him in any way.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we just we had a few split up sessions. Just monetary issues and stuff like that. It just kind of made it hard to kind of do it all at once. That in writing, I'm a fucking picky bastard, so by the time we got in there, I wasn't even completely ready, to be honest. Like I just laid down what I could, and we were supposed to go back. I was supposed to go back and record the rest of the guitars, and then this whole coronavirus thing happened, and literally probably 4 or 5 days before I was supposed to go in there, he got shut down.
Oh, of course, yeah, naturally. I don't doubt that's the other thing. I mean, that I've always known about you guys, and couple for the people again that haven't seen Little Off live, it's how dare you, first of all, but second of all, there's a couple of moments that you guys pulled off live that I just literally, as a musician and just as everything, I've had a couple of moments, like epiphanous moments, when I was tripping balls at like a fish show and shit. Like I only went to one. Don't make me think I'm not a fish head or whatever. I hate real big fish. But the one thing I forget forgive me for the name of the track that you guys play live, but there's one track that when you guys first when I first saw this live, you guys did, for the non-music lovers out there, when you're listening to a CD and like you're listening to it and they just repeat the same thing, same riff over, and then it just does that thing, the little fade out, the natural fade out. Yeah, Little Off did that live, and all three of them, the bass, the guitar, and somehow the fucking drums, which is even weirder. Like it was this moment of poetry, and this is no bullshit. I was just in the fucking crowd and I was like, what? Sorry for the peeking, but that was. I actually did have to go get some air after that moment, because I was like, I can't even fucking believe that just fucking happened. I was angry. I stormed out. I was like,
yeah, I can hear you more than anybody else.
I said, how dare you do something so amazing and yet so controversial. It was incredible to me. And then this was the real kicker, is that, and I've next time I go to your guys' show, I'm gonna get a preemptive one of those little cock socks for my neck. What are those called? I don't know. The fucking neck braces, because I have to it's an instinct. It's a knee-jerk reaction, if you will. I have to headbang at your guys' shows. I don't know what I can't describe it, where it's like, I can't just sit in the back and be this guy. It's like, pretty. It's like it's something a bit. It does something to my human butt, and then I'm not. Then after I saw you guys at this last show at Trailside, my neck hurt for a fucking week, and I hated you guys for that week because I swear to God, I was like, God damn it, they rock so hard that I'm gonna hate myself for a week. But for the
there's video of you pretty much headbanging nonstop for like 10 minutes.
yeah, fucking, you're gonna give me the copy of that. I'm sending it to my lawyers because I got whiplash from your show. No, but that show in particular was another one that was kind of I went with Atlas and I kind of had this hilarious moment where basically he I've always told Atlas that, again, I try my best with playing your parts, but it's still at a certain point, it's like I have I'm good at ska, I'm good at the things that I'm good at, and that's that I'm kind of too old to try and be better. I can't get sweep picking. How do you do that? I've never understood that. You make it look so easy. I can't do it.
Yeah, it's dude. I mean, still, I just do fucking junior sweeps, really, basically. Like,
Your junior sweeps, oh man, no.
Like 3-4 years of practicing it, and I'm still getting it. But I mean, I'm all self-taught too. Like, I do. The funny thing is that I do so many things wrong. And,
well, right, but what's
like,
right?
Well, exactly right. It's all subjective, and I think honestly, people who start off taking lessons and then that becomes their kind of tunnel vision and are so caught up in like by the book methods, just kind of don't really develop their own sound as much. You know what I'm saying? There's so many virtuoso musicians out there that sound the same, and that's definitely that's not what I'm going for.
Absolutely no. Yeah, no one sounds like you. That's the thing. And that's why when I tried to learn, it's like learning almost like a new style of karate, if you will. It's like I might know how to fight, but I don't know how to box, and I might know how to box, but I don't know how to fucking do judo, and that's what it was to me. It was like, I get what you're doing there, but how are you doing that? And also, that's the thing for you. You found a way as a musician just to really like make that part. The guitar is just an extension of you, whereas it looks so simple, but to other people it's like, how is he making that look so easy, is myself included, because I'm a guitarist, and I was like, oh, okay, I see what you're doing. And then there's a lot of parts you teaching me stuff, I was like, I never looked at the guitar that way, but now I'll never not look at it that way. And I think that's the best part about, again, I guess I'm self-taught too, and I've always tried to, when I tried to link up with you guys, I tried to just learn by ear as best I could the songs. I got some bases for some of them because we all were, 15 or so back in the day when tabbing first started and the internet, and then, oh.
That's how I learned, was like just Guitar World magazines, playing like fucking Nirvana songs, just figuring it all out by myself and by ear. And
samesies. I did that, and then I also just like I would do the same, where my first couple tabs were way off. They were a little off, but check them out. A little off. Link below. I tried my best just to tab out like old like punk and Real Big Fish songs and stuff, and then I eventually over time obviously realized that I was way off pitch, and I finally figured out that, like, oh, okay, that you just learn and you get your ear a little bit better, you get a little stronger, and then eventually, as you know, it's like then you start to learn other styles and other types of music, and for me, I start to just see how other musicians think and write, and that when I was learning your stuff, it was like, oh, okay, for me I was essentially like fighting a boss in Mega Man, and I didn't beat you, but I still got the power up at the end, where you get like the extra bonus points. I cheated is what I did. But anyway, back to the last time I saw you at Trailside, I came in, I think in between the second song, but I came into to the one of the best clip. I'm a big clip guy. I like clips. I'm a big clip fan. Nick Farber doesn't like them, but he's a fireman now, so sorry. He's a fire crotch and he's a firefighter. But anyway, I walked into Trailside and I hear the classic There's no earthly way of knowing. No, the Gene Wilder clip, everyone knows it from Willy Wonka, the boat scene. And I hear that, and then, you know, and that can be done. I thought maybe like I just walked in right at the intro. Because I've tried to walk, you know, on stage to a song, and it's weird when there's no backstage, and you're just like to the left of the stage, you know, and you're like, and then you like wait for Eye of the Tiger. Like, and yeah, it's like there's nowhere to hide. It's just like, and let's play the intro music. I don't know, but so I thought I was just going into that, and then sure enough, you play that song, you finish, and then immediately as you guys finish the song, it just goes into another clip, and it took me a second to realize like what even happened, because don't get me wrong, I love Trailside, but they don't have that kind of capability. They don't. I love them to death, but they don't care about pre-songs or this, that, this. So there's no one doing it at the soundboard. I knew that much. And then I started looking around. I was like, maybe Livesay did some magic and he stepped on things or did something. Nothing.
You signed up to listen to Nate talk.
He doesn't even know we're all here.
Oh, can you not see us all?
Yeah. No, but yeah, cool. Thanks, Nick. Do you want to talk now? Do you want to? Do you want to talk? Go ahead.
Just a joke.
Do you want to talk? Fucking Andy Richter, shut your fucking dumb fat mouth. Fucking this is why fucking Jimmy Fallon doesn't fucking have a couch guy, because he's fucking doing this bullshit all the fucking time. You know what? You guys fucking talk to Livesay, because apparently I'm doing the interview. Oh god damn it! I fucking hate these guys. God damn it. No, it's okay, Nick. Thanks. Middle of the story. I fucking don't care anymore. You fucking piece of shit. God damn it. God damn it. God damn it.
Either your house is humongous.
Did you guys break it?
I'm gonna break Nick's fucking head in real quick. God damn it.
Hey, where did the shots come from? It's already broken.
Up my ass.
Oh, you gotta be on your knees.
Me right now?
It's not just you.
Oh, there we go.
I was just phasing out to take a shot.
Doing some shots.
But yeah, no. Then I realized after a song or two that there was a little laptop robot like on the side of the stage, and I saw that like you guys had what appeared to be some kind of like jam or something, one track. And then like at the end of every single fucking one of those, it went right into a clip, and I was like, "You son of a bitch, Livesay, how?" Like, and then I also laughed at Alice because I said, "I think you finally realized that the only one that can play backup guitar for you is just a recording of you." And smart move there, bud. I'm telling you, smart move, considering all the shit that I went through for that. But yeah, that was a moment for me where it really inspired me to like. That was thinking outside the box, man. That was like, I saw that and I was like, not only are those guys so well rehearsed that they can pull that off, but like they even try to do it. Like that's what I feel like music's all about, and that's what you guys do. And I can't wait to hear you guys' new album, because I've heard you guys live. It fucking gives me spinal cancer. It sucks.
That's a good band name, Spinal Cancer.
Let me ask you a question. On a scale of 1 to 10. 1 being a lot and 10 being the most, how much does Nick suck?
That's
yeah, Nick.
Physically.
Physically, just
Sexually.
as a person.
I'm lacking context here.
Just yeah.
Oh, okay. Well,
Sexually.
I guess pervasively.
Yeah, just pick a number 1 through 10.
On the spot with Albert. Is he there?
Maybe.
Be harsh.
Of course he is.
Maybe he is, maybe he isn't.
He hit all of them.
I think, no, if I'm being completely honest, I think Nick is one of the best frontmen in Denver, honestly.
I heard a 1. Yeah, you're a number 1. You're a number 1. You're the worst, Nick.
I'm the worst frontman in Denver?
No, you're number 1 at being the worst.
I'm the best at the worst.
No,
it's 1 out of 10. Number 1 out of 10.
Thanks.
1 out of 10 ain't
does
bad.
Does anyone else have a question for Livesay? I've been talking too much, apparently. Nick, what do you got to say?
How much does fucking Nate suck? On a scale of 1 to 2.
Be generous.
Okay, you're back. Hello?
What's up, buddy? How are you?
Dude, what's going on? Good.
You know, living dream.
You?
Oh, you know, every day's a blessing.
Happy 420?
Same to you, brother.
Butter?
Butter.
Butter.
Butterbean. It's the opposite of butterbean.
I was just in a shed.
Man, this show's not gonna get canceled.
Yeah, it's fucking cooler now, right?
Yeah.
Hearing your goddamn Long John's manager stories.
Okay, go ahead, Long John.
You
fucking hush puppies.
Oh, you know the thing about Trailside.
I was trying to talk about LiveStrame, but yeah, you go ahead and talk about Trailside.
You weren't even.
I got fresh pineapple here at home too.
I got fresh Pabst Blue Ribbon.
This is a decoy for the real pineapple.
We tried to learn how to fill a fucking blunt earlier. It didn't work.
Make Eddie tell the story about how he got pissed at me when I told him to fill the Ludo pod up with water.
Tell the story, Eddie.
What's the Ludo pod?
Is it a real story? I don't know what you're talking about. What did I?
Remember when we were at Charcoal?
Yeah, I know. Are you confusing me with someone else?
You know Eddie can't talk. What the fuck?
He can't read either.
I
He
can-
can read actually.
Oh no, I'll tell him.
Oh, here we go.
So we had some sauce, right?
Now it's
At
sick.
the Charcoal grill, we had some sauce and double boilers. And to keep it hot, we just had it in some water on the stove top, and it was only like halfway full. And so it was getting like cold, and it was fucking like getting really solid and wouldn't come out of the bottle. And I got irritated because Eddie kept doing that and shit. And I was like, Eddie, you gotta fill the fucking pan up all the way, man. This shit isn't staying hot. So he took the pan back and filled it up so high that there was a meniscus on it, so that like you couldn't even put the bottle into the pot. So
Oh my god.
it fell all over the place.
Wow.
It was one of the most vindictive things Eddie's ever done.
And the best part is that he immediately forgot all about it. He was he's like, I don't even care.
Like people forgot about that restaurant, though. Am I right?
Singer.
I knew it was gonna be a joke one day though. 'Cause it was a joke to me then.
You were just setting that joke up this whole time, huh?
A lot of the fucked up things I do, it's fucking.
It's hardcore.
Pre-masturbated?
Pre-masturbated. No. It's like a foreshadow of a. It's a force.
Every day is a pre-ejaculation to the fucking next fucking moment of my life.
Everything goes back to
I
weenies.
come before I shit. No.
This is why we're not allowed to talk for most of the time.
That's why I let pineapple
Say
talk
stuff
to me.
like this.
No.
I don't know why you guys have me on me. I'm the most fucking boring motherfucker.
Well,
That's
okay.
cool.
That's how bad we are.
Is your house? Do you live in a mansion? Or are you just walking around your kitchen in circles?
You seem like to have a huge house.
Oh no, this is Mr. Dempsey. Say hi, Jim.
Hey, Jim.
Oh, what's up, Jim?
Hey.
Damn it, Jim.
Damn it, Jim.
Well, thanks for showing us the ceiling.
Oh, I know where you're at now.
What up, Jim?
Jim's house.
Yeah. That's for Richard's butt.
How did you know?
You ever watch a pineapple with a sponge?
Tell us about that time you beat Bowser.
I'm in the pain.
That's why he dates a peach.
Hey.
So are you guys all staying there? Nick, you staying there too?
I live here sometimes, yeah. I live everywhere.
The majority of the time.
Citizen of the earth.
Now, what do you mean by stay?
Live.
Because we're on a lockdown.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, we're locked down.
We use the term
Trapped with these
live
people.
loosely.
Mm-hmm. He's got a loose butt.
We say
What?
I go out to poop.
That took a weird turn, bro.
him or me?
Both of us.
Was that an accusation?
He was trying to teach us how to do squats earlier.
Look, man. I'm just trying to hang out. Have a good time.
His motto is like, what is it? Live loose, die gaped.
Live say. What
Oh, he's proud.
I got a promiscuous question for you.
Oh, I bet you do.
Actually, it's a really basic one that I've never asked you before. How long have you been playing guitar?
Oh, okay.
Still learning.
25 years.
Okay.
You saved my life, Mario.
We fired our boom mic operator.
Yeah, he got mad.
They have that in
Our
Mario
booth
3.
mic. I killed him. And
Now we're gonna eat.
Jumped on his head.
Now we're gonna eat well tonight.
Word. How long you been playing fucking trombone, Richard?
Oh shit!
I'm waiting for him to start.
Boom! Yeah! Never is the answer. Nah, fuck.
Bass, dude.
The tides are
That was
turned.
his natural gift.
When did it? It's I played as a kid, 22 years ago.
Wait,
Yeah,
you play with kids?
Okay.
as a kid with kid.
Don't tell me about being a
players.
kid. I used to be one.
So that's I'm getting my
Kid
my
life.
rent money from Boy Scouts of America.
Why you got Thin Mints in the freezer?
Bro, because they're delicious.
Boy Scouts of America. You know, one time I went to Boy Scouts for a few years, and I got a bunch of change.
Get that money.
And I bought a bunch of sodas for everybody. I don't know how old I was.
Is that why we didn't see you a couple years ago?
8 or 9. I was young as fuck. And I bought a bunch of sodas for all the kids, dude. And one kid got jealous because I was buying all these sodas, and he told one of the dudes that worked there. And the guy came in and picked me up by my fucking hair. And
Whoa.
dragged me out of the fucking building.
What the fuck?
That sounds like Man Scouts.
Yeah, one of the guys that worked there.
Dude, get your BSA money. I was making a weird joke about that, but for real. So like
You were
they're
fucking
still
affected
getting
by the
sued.
Scouts of America.
There's like a huge class action, because all the kids that got abused, and you can still collect off that shit.
Oh, really?
You might be one of them.
Yeah.
I'll send you a link. I'll send you a link.
Get some new Ranger Scout.
Yeah, dude. Pay for
That was no sense.
pay for your next album.
That flooded.
Shit. That'd be crazy if I could prove it, but.
I thought you were gonna say.
I thought something was a little off there.
It's class.
Everyone drink.
Every time we drink, we take a fucking shit.
Everybody drink. Everybody cry.
Yeah, I'll drink to that.
Speaking of, you probably already said this earlier, but when is your album coming out, Livesay?
We don't. That's the thing is that I was supposed to go back for one more day of
Tomorrow.
recording.
Let him talk.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I know.
Sorry.
No, but I was supposed to go back for one more day of recording, and it got canceled because of this whole virus deal. So as soon as the studios are opened up again, I go back, and then we get the fucking thing mixed and mastered, and it's out. But we got a single coming out in like a matter of days. It's tasty.
Hell yeah.
Which single?
Yeah.
Don't tell us about your dating life.
What's it called?
Say it again, because he's asking about getting high.
It's called Elderly eHarmony.
Nice. I like it.
I would join that. Or do you have to be that? Is there a joiner?
Is there a fee?
No, it's covered by Social Security.
Do I gotta sign
Yeah,
some documents?
it's a batch of molasses cookies.
Badge of molasses. New band name. I called it.
Badge of molasses.
Badge of molasses.
Fuck
Badger
yeah.
molasses.
You fucked up and bring Werther's.
Badger molasses.
Yes.
Ooh, that's sticky.
All about Boy Scouts. And honey badges.
Honey badger, don't fuck around, baby.
Sticky weed.
Honey buns. How long
Hey,
has
can I
Livesay
say
been
something?
in Denver?
I gotta tell you. Hey, can I say something? I gotta tell you.
What?
Listen
Damn it,
to the
Jim.
entire I've listened to the entire album probably twice in total, like pockmarking it here and there.
So more
And I
times
really,
than all of us combined.
I really got some wood for Jim Jones there. I gotta say, I just gotta say that's
Jim.
my favorite.
Just make sure
Yeah.
you don't thank
James's favorite.
Nate for that one, because
His name's Nate, not.
he didn't put it in most.
You definitely
of
didn't write
all
most of it. He definitely wasn't the one that did all of the writing for that.
He just sat around drinking Kool-Aid like a motherfucker.
Well, at least it's good to see bands in Denver doing something because Damn It Jim got shit.
You know who you're talking to, right?
Well, you guys crank it, man. Like you guys do work. We'll have an album someday.
No, yeah, we were talking about that. Like it's just absolutely incredible how much stuff that you guys just pump out. Like how how you just have so much creative juices flowing. It's ridiculous. Like it takes me
It's
so long
actually
to come up
like we're just ripping off of other people. We
We're
hate each other.
releasing the next Damn It Jim album before.
Nate's cracking the whip, and we're just having a terrible time. We've got nothing creative.
You should see us off camera. He's always screaming.
I know.
See? I can't sleep.
He screams more on camera.
I talk nice, you don't work.
Hair turns
Way
red.
more. Maybe if you wouldn't scream at me, I'd want to work.
No, but it's really get out of the fucking sun here. That's killing my face. It's a really brilliant idea that coming up with this album. Like it's perfect timing to be able to have everybody contribute, to add some creative input and everything, and give everybody that outlet that they need right now to create when we're all stuck at home and can't do anything. I mean, it's doing a lot for the music community in general. I think that if more bands did that, a lot more people would have some relief. I mean, it's really tough times, so I'm really stoked that you guys did that, and hopefully I can be a part of it.
Wait a minute. You mean we're doing stuff for the music, the Denver music community? Man, fuck the Denver music community. We should
If we had to wait on them to make a record,
cancel it.
Fucking, we wouldn't make.
Canceled.
Now they don't like me.
No, you know what I'm talking about.
You
convinced
us to
I
cancel.
mean, honestly, the timing, you're totally right. The timing on this was synchronicitous as hell. Like, we had been planning on putting this album out, and of course it happens right when the virus hit, which we probably brought or caused or created. Who knows? I don't know.
We're just really happy to be there for everyone.
Yeah. No,
Right,
that
yeah.
would be something to do.
So in case
Give you a reason to stay home.
this is actually, in case you haven't noticed, this is a good plug. Live Say, you can go listen to our album for free right now. Keep Carbon People, PCPstocks.com. You can go to Pornhub, not yet, but you can anyway. We have our album.
We'll have it on Pornhub.
It's live. It's been live for about.
Well, I'm gonna be there
It's a
anyway.
brown lizard on Pornhub. Though.
However,
It's a social distancing porno.
Our
Fired a cock from a long
Our
distance.
musician friends, as Jim alluded to, and ruined my setup, but also.
I'm already lost.
We've already sent out. If you are a person that we care about in Denver, then we have sent this little thing out to all of our musician friends. We have another album coming out. So Lounge Lizard is just instrumental because I got tired of Nick.
As we all did.
And so
we said take a break.
What we did is
I'm gonna call my brother and quit this band.
No. Actually, it's kind of, again, this is all part to what Jen said. It's all part of synchronicity. Like Nick really Nick cured stage 4 cancer. First of all, that's a different fucking vlog for a different day. But besides all that, there was plans in the works for Nick to unfortunately have to take a little hiatus from PCP. No one quits this band. You're all in it eventually.
We'll get you.
But the point being is that Nick eventually it was Nick was gonna take some back. Also, Lounge Lizard is kind of an attempt to show people what you can do with very little. I hate Lord. I hate all these pop bands that you hear on the radio, and it's one fucking note. It's the one note, and they just do. It's Ed Sheeran. Don't get me started on Ed Sheeran, dude.
Did you cover one of his songs?
Dude, I did because I want him to die, and I can slip in there. They won't even know.
I've seen him masturbate to Ed Sheeran like
Don't let him know.
How are you gonna feel if he gets coronavirus tomorrow?
If Ed Sheeran gets coronavirus, I will not be surprised. Anyway, so what we...
You're just mad because he's been blocking you out of mainstream success.
He does not return my calls.
Because he is the ginger on top.
Maybe you shouldn't start those calls.
It's like
with
Highlander.
Can I please finish? Okay, no. So Nick unfortunately was going to be able to. This is exclusive content right here again because this
you
is
don't know
behind the scenes stuff that basically Nick was unfortunately going to be able to not be able to be as big a frontman. I mean, he's a big frontman, but he wouldn't be as big of one.
Same size.
Same size, different location.
For some reason, that made Jim really laugh.
And so basically, what we did also to prove what you can do with less. So we proved that Lord is a piece of shit, and also that Nick is.
He just wants less. I get it. I'm fat. A lot to work with.
If you could just be Lord, we'd be famous, and if I could be Ed Sheeran, we'd be
I
famous
ain't no
too.
Lord.
Listen. You're assaulting in my eyes. But as we've talked about with synchronicity, the coronavirus swooped in, and Nick can't go anywhere. Ha!
Stuck, bitch.
So
you're welcome.
Trapped in the set.
What we've done is that Lounge Lizard is an entirely instrumental album. It's meant for 420. I want you guys to stream it when you're getting high for the rest of the day because there's no lyrics. You can put it on in the background while you're fucking. It's never gonna say the N word, like when you don't want to like unimpress a chick, and it's
and the songs are short, so they'll be timed right.
Unimpressed.
When you don't want to unimpress. Yeah. That's the best like sexual euphemism ever. When you don't want to unimpress a chick that you're trying to fuck.
Wait, is that not how you guys have sex? I'm constantly just trying to unimpress chicks.
You're trying not to unimpress.
I'm not trying to impress. I'm trying to
I don't like self-inflicting pain.
The point I'm trying to make, I don't know if, listen, the weed might be working. The point I'm making is that it's all instrumental, and you guys can listen to it now, PCPsucks.com. Now, our friends, Jim and Liv Say, and our musician friends in this community, they have gotten a little sneak peek of this, so a couple of them who will remain nameless because it's a surprise. They have gotten
Nathaniel Rateliff.
Because it rhymes.
No, Nate. No, see, no. There can be only one Nate. No, see, no. You're not gonna fucking Nathaniel Rateliff drop this.
Is he on this shit?
He might be. We'll see. But the point being is that Social Butterfly is.
We're gonna be famous.
Social Butterfly is going to be our. Basically, what it is it's our. We sent Lounge Lizard to all of our friends, including the very famous
3 people.
Shut up, Nick.
2 are in the band.
Will someone get a bouncer?
I'm out of this.
No, listen. No, we sent him to we sent him to our friends. We sent him to Liv Say. We sent him to Jim, and we said, hey, let's see what you guys can do with these instrumental songs. We want you guys to write lyrics to them. So, Social Butterfly is going to be coming out as soon as everyone.
Somebody else writes it.
So, no, yeah, basically, like, message these guys because you're waiting on them now. That's basically it. So, do you want to talk now, Nick? You piece of shit? Go ahead.
Then I'm working on one called Colonel Turkey.
You're not talking about anything. Colonel Turkey.
Colonel Turkey.
That's the new name. That's the new name for it, Colonel.
Well, that's definitely a song on that record.
Colonel Sanders.
Popcorn, Colonel Turkey.
Wow.
All right, we won't keep holding Liv's.
Yeah.
Stay here because we have another guest coming up.
He's kind of related. Not related.
It's not related at all.
Liv Say, tell them what's going on in your life.
They're
and then say
related.
goodbye. Somebody else coming.
By blood. By blood relatives.
Ooh.
That's coming on next.
Bleeding
what
is
the hell?
next.
What?
Stay here. Keep talking.
You want to bleed?
You guys are the worst talk show hosts I've ever watched.
I thought it was good.
That's why you gave us the talk show, right?
No, I had to get a dab to deal with these people.
Talk pod.
Well, I mean that's close enough. I'm cool with that. I'll settle with that.
I guess
Combine
I
two
was.
things that match.
No, man. You're fucking Mario. You don't settle. You win.
Guys,
What would Yoshi think?
Does anyone have any questions for Liv Say? For fuck's sake, Jesus.
Oh, were we supposed to do that?
Yes.
Hey, man.
It's literally this whole time.
How long is your hair?
There you go. Thank you. Finally. Christ.
Yeah.
Which hair?
I asked the one right
Any of them.
There. You're talking about the hair on my head, right? There you go.
Or anywhere, man. Tell us how long it is everywhere.
Your choice.
Start with the hair.
Start top to bottom.
Tell me how long your toe hair is. Where's your ass hair sitting at it?
Start top to bottom and inches in metric.
Team hair.
My ball hair got a lot shorter after I dreaded it.
Oh,
That was pretty.
Did you have little like fucking reggae beats on that shit too?
Wait a second. Did he say shredded it?
Dreaded
it.
Oh.
It's like this, but on his nuts.
New challenger is entering.
Hey! See, this is what I was
Shredded
saying.
ball.
They're related because.
Hold on.
By blood.
Why? Did you
By
turn your
guitar
phone
blood.
sideways? What did you do?
Did you guys work at Chardcore together?
Were you just watching porno?
Spin, flip.
I don't know what's
Oh.
happening. Can I spin you?
Was that a bonzel?
Dude, are you
Yeah,
upside down right
so
now?
that's what I was trying
It's
to
the
say.
bombs.
It's up
There
there.
we go.
He fixed gravity!
Elmo's here, dude. Elmo.
You're waking,
Hey, Brian.
You're waking up the
Livesay know
baby.
each other, don't you? You guys met before? Livesay, Brian, do you guys know each other?
Hey, buddy.
Does anyone know?
Yo! I love your
Right in
hat.
my fucking eyes.
Who is Boom Jack?
Love your hat.
Good to see. Good to see.
You too, man. How you doing?
Just
There we
being
go.
tall.
Just being tall as fuck. That's what I was thinking.
Oh wait, you guys, one sec.
Oh no! 1 sec. Hold on, guys. Wait for it. Wait for it.
Well, and we know why Boo Jack and Bonds don't fucking play anymore.
Speaking of
Yeah.
that.
Hold on, I was gonna say. That was it.
lost.
Vintage.
That's all I was gonna say.
I'm lost.
Vintage.
Huh?
My
What the
vintage
fuck's going
shirt.
on? Oh,
These guys wrote
Oh, yeah.
songs together.
yeah, we did. We wrote a lot of songs.
They're way better than ours.
Who's
Way
Jack?
so much better.
Way more.
That's why we have to keep giving you more. Like,
Who's Jack?
we couldn't do it with 5.
Quantity over quality, my friends.
Yeah. It's different for everybody else.
So welcome, Brian.
Hey, Brian.
Thank you very. Thanks for having me. I just put the baby to sleep, so it worked perfect.
Is
And,
that why you were
That's
Elmo?
why he's yelling.
See the baby,
Yeah.
damn it.
That's why he's yelling.
You got an adorable baby, and I can say that as a person that
Is blind?
Doesn't have babies.
that
Okay.
100% hates babies. So I mean,
Oh, like the shirt, buddy.
Yeah, that's what I went to do.
That's a throwback. That's a classic motherfucker right there.
Vintage PCP.
hell yeah.
Intagio.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Probably around the time you guys were still Boo Jack and Bonds.
Hell yeah.
Nice, nice.
Yeah, very true.
So
That was a wild adventure. I was reading Eric's post today, and it was nostalgic.
Oh hell
Yeah,
yeah.
it's a
Yeah.
I saw it too.
I just remembered the first time I saw either of you play live was Boo Jack and Bonds over at Trailside.
Oh yeah.
So.
I don't remember you being there.
Never.
This is a perfect opportunity, and it was great that we got to get Livesay because we Brian, we can get you in on it too, as Eric and I already kind of talked about that first tour and what that kind of the experiences for us. I'll go ahead and I'll share my favorite experience of memory of you for the first tour was that day 2. You had my drunk bass player pinned down, standing on his throat.
It was awesome.
Saying, "Are you fucking done, bro?" Because he was assaulting everyone and being a piece of shit. That's
He was
my
biting
favorite,
people,
That's
that
my
drunk
favorite
fuck.
Bonds moment.
Yeah,
Dude,
he
those-
did
those
deserve
kids-
it. He deserved it, to be fair.
Those
Sounds
people,
right.
Well,
Bass player
I want
right
to hear your favorite moment. 'cause that
Sounds
was mine.
average.
That was my favorite. Well, not my favorite moment, but that
those
was
people
that
were really
was one
nice
of them.
to the speaker. That shit was fucked up.
Yeah,
Dude,
it was.
I'll just chime in real quick as someone was there crying in fucking Oregon in that circle in the rain where we were all fucking ready to give up. It was like, man, we gotta just keep going.
Because half the band.
And
quit.
everybody else was going, but like, that was a fucking touching moment. Mostly the rain in Oregon's gorgeous, but you know.
It was. If only there was like some Celine Dion playing in the background or
Oh,
something.
fucking
They were
right.
all crying.
Yeah.
Or as
Absolutely.
Cher something. Do you believe in love?
It's a Celine and Cher marathon.
After love.
I can feel.
This is round robin version.
Are we just gonna keep going?
I mean, let's finish it now.
Well,
What
about
What am I supposed to
Bees
do?
started coming in the
I
window.
remember my second favorite Brian Bonds moment of that tour was where he
Sit on one of our
I'm in the
laps.
back of the van, at the very back. Everyone's breaking down, and this is before Brian was a responsible father, and back when you were scum like us. And
I'm totally different.
Scum like us.
things got a little heated, and I'll never forget this line either, is because I was the fucking devil on your shoulder and whispered into your ear, yeah, no fucking quesadilla got us fucking kicked out of your house. And you almost jump over the fucking 3 or 4 benches, and you say, "What the fuck, dude? I'll fucking kick your ass, you eyebrowless fuck!" Oh, I'll remember that forever. And then immediately Nick Farber just broke down and started hugging me and saying like, hold me, and I did.
And that man's a firefighter.
Say that you love
I remember
me.
pulling up in Oakland and somebody had been stabbed or whatever, and then that homeless guy had his shoes on his hand and he was running up to Nick and going,
Nick was
and he hissed at me.
I remember, yeah, someone hissed at you. Yeah, I remember
think
that.
getting hissed at,
Snake.
that's like at least once per tour. Someone gets hissed at. It's par for the course. I think it's what we sign up for. We should put that in like a little contract for everybody.
And I was gonna say the bees. Don't you remember the bees coming in the winter?
Oh, dude, the fucking bees in Arizona when we fix quesadillas fucking so we don't get sued. I don't know. No one's watching this. Fix quesadillas,
I mean,
man.
the secret to it all was that ring that he found on the slot machine.
Yeah, because
I don't think we should talk about it anymore because I shouldn't even have brought that shit up.
See, because now
that was bad.
Oh
fucking
yeah, I forgot about that shit.
That
Yeah,
was bad juju.
That was a bad omen.
Dude,
the guy Cosby in the alley. I mean, there's just too many things.
So so what I'm thinking is maybe a reunion, just quick little stint to a PCP Sunset Silhouette, a little off reunion show in Elko, Nevada. Let's
in the basement. In the haunted basement.
In the murder basement, and that's it.
We should, play in the murder
Hi,
basement.
Craig.
Hey there, Brian.
Hey, Craig.
Oh, it's Eric.
You got everyone. This has been fun, guys. It's been a lot of social distancing. It's been great.
Yeah, I missed you guys.
I miss you guys too.
Hell yeah, fellas.
I gotta check on the baby real quick.
Okay, you check on the baby. While you do that, I'm gonna pull up. This is Brian's band here, Sunset Silhouette. Check them out.
We're stealing their music without permission, and
We're not stealing it. No, I'm just showing the logo. They didn't pay for
but
the rights.
me and Eddie are, so both of us are.
Oh well, you guys steal everything. You steal cars. You steal everything.
No. Whoa.
And so we've also got.
Oh fuck.
Oh, did we lose?
Oh.
Tap the beer.
Get it! You got tapped!
I
We all
tapped
heard
my
that.
own fucking bottle, dude.
What?
With another bottle.
I thought it was Jim.
We've also got a special guest appearance now from the very own Colorado Punk Rock Army's Phil Deeds. We got CPRA in the house.
Nice.
Hopefully, let's see.
Hey, it's Phil.
Hey, Phil.
What's up?
You're muted, Phil. Hold on, let me unmute you.
You're muted, Phil,
You
by
are allowed
us.
to speak.
By us.
Thank you.
Okay, wait.
Oh, it's that guy.
Okay,
Hi,
wait.
Phil.
Go ahead.
Hey, what's up, man? How's it going?
Not much.
Phil, say
It's a
whatever
fucking
you
party.
Here for this.
Say whatever you want, Phil.
Say stuff, Phil. Say illegal stuff. Not really, not me.
Wait, say it again. I just muted you. I'm just fucking.
Oh, God! You're a dick! You actually did!
Yeah, I'm a huge piece of shit. I'm sorry.
The best part is Nate loves doing this when no one can see his face on camera. So, yeah, you're getting chewed out.
Brian, that's what you got to look forward to, bro. Just temper tantrums. Enjoy when you can just.
I got this new
Cool, I'm
keyboard.
cool with both.
Also, I'll go ahead and say, Phil has some pretty cute kids too, man. They're pretty friggin' adorable.
It's my new keyboard.
Yeah, huh?
That's pretty rad.
MIDI controller.
Nice.
Pokemon. What if I didn't have a kid and I just had all these toys?
I would actually be way more excited. I mean, like,
Or you want to see me
don't
try
be
to
wrong. You got a cute kid, but I mean, clearly, look at me. I hate kids, so I'm like, oh, kids. Wait.
Hey, Brian,
If you just
enjoy
had
that
kids'
little one
toys
while he's
without
little.
the kids, I would do that. I would. You hear me, kids? You like that?
Hey, Brian.
Yeah.
My
I'll
kid
play
is
with your
sitting right
toys.
here,
I gotta get
not wearing pants and eating chips. So
Nice.
that's where your kid's future is.
I might not be wearing pants. Oh, I'm wearing pants.
See, you're wearing
That's okay. Pants are optional.
Blouse.
That's true.
No, if I'm honest, I'm way more of a kid than I like to admit.
No shit.
What am I? You got me.
You're dressed as Mario, bro.
Shit. I thought I could play it off.
Blowing my fucking mind, Rich.
I go to every Aquabat show that I can. I remember I was just the other day I was talking about how I recalled seeing that Yo Gabba Gabba and the Agrolites were getting that the Aquabats and the Agrolites were getting featured on Yo Gabba Gabba. And I was just like, oh,
remember that.
Wow, I think everything's gonna be all right. that was just an overwhelming, like, oh, I think everything is right in the world because two of my favorite childhood bands are being featured on a children's show, and that's how I judge the world. Yeah.
That's a weird way to.
That story sucks.
Well, guys, I do want to let you know.
Cool story. What should I be thinking about? Politics and the economy? A global pandemic? Woo! Fuck you! My favorite bands are on kid shows. This is the best. The world rules.
The Ramones would be on that show.
So, hey guys, don't tell anybody, but I am smoking a cigarette within 10 feet of a public entrance.
You smoking a cig of weed?
I'm
sick of weed.
Somebody call the police.
I'm gonna tell everybody here.
All right, and joining us now on Zoom is
Guess what Phil's doing?
The landlord likes to remind us constantly that we're not allowed to smoke in front of public entrances, except my balcony is right next to one. So technically, it's my residence. Yeah. So they're like, you need to go to a smoking section. I'm like, you need to give me back my $1,200 a month I spent on rent.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. If you can't use your pool and you live in an apartment right now, don't pay your rent. Fuck that. You learn how to swim. Goddammit.
Yep.
Fucking rent free.
So, guys, real quick, I can't stick around long, but I did want to say congrats on a brand new epic album.
No, thanks, man.
It's definitely not what I expected at first. I was like, this is all instrumental. It's kind of cool.
Like
and then
he's fired.
I got
he told
I got
us he
down
was staying
to Jim Jones' slumber party, and I was like, this is fucking wicked. And I fell in love with the new record. It's fucking amazing.
Thanks so much, Phil. We
And it's
appreciate
like, it's unprecedented for PCP. It really is. Like, you know, you expect something like that from the Dendrites, like their new album, which is really great. They put a new vocal track on their last new album, and it's, oh my god, it's so good.
See,
but yeah, the new album kicks ass, and man, Eddie's bass is fucking strong on that. It's so cool. I love it. It's kind of cool because it's like, if you read the review I just wrote, there's one song that has a cool island sound to melt a warm heart. I don't know if you catch that reference from South Park.
Alice did. Alice
You're gonna be pretty bummed when you find out it's all MIDI.
Yeah, you know, it's all Sesame Street MIDI.
It's not all MIDI.
I think the new record is really unique. I think it's eclectic, and I think that your recording skills and engineering have come a long way, a really long way.
For sure.
It's great.
And it's pretty much entirely Nate, and I commend him and Jen for initially going for it and saying, hey, we're gonna get this house that we can deck out, and we started just building our own our own practice space, and then how far do we have to go to be able to record on our own? Let's figure it out. And yeah, 500 miles.
But also, I want
500 miles, 100 miles.
All we gotta do is run wherever it
As weird as it might have seemed, like I definitely had the plan for a while now to again prove that not only can artists, it's to quote the great John Lennon. I never got this quote in The Departed because of Jack fucking Nicholson's Boston accent or fake Boston accent. But is the quote? It's a John Lennon quote. Is the quote? I'm an artist. Give me a tuba and I'll get you something out of it. Or if you watch The Departed, Jack Nicholson says, I'm an artist. Give me a tuber, I'll get you something out of it. So I was like, wait, is the quote give me a tuber? Because that's oddly racist and poignant to me. Like, I like potatoes and I'm Irish, and so like, give me a potato, I'll get you something out of it. But the point being is that a lot of these songs, in particular, a lot of them, Jim Jones is one of them, that they originated from me and Eddie and Dill, kind of like getting to know each other and kind of. PCP is always kind of evolving, and this is the new crew, and it was really nice to kind of just like, basically what we did, we were like, pick 2 chords, with a 3 or less. We wanted to do fucking less than Green Day, and just pick 2 chords and just see how can we make that work. And then on top of it, again, the best. I think this is the best part about this album. No Nick, 0 Nick. So that's great.
He'll tell you himself. That's part of the album.
But on top of it, again, I've had this for a while, and I mean, cat's out of the bag now. But really, it's like my whole goal for this is, and it's lined up so perfectly with this Solitude, is that we have the fortune of, as Rich pointed out, in having all of this, I guess, surplus when it comes to musical ability and stuff. And so what we wanted to do is, I know that if I was not able to get a ability to create, and someone just handed me 14 songs and said, hey, I don't care if you write a song about how much your butthole itches. You know
it's still gonna be better than ours.
We write worse songs. And that's really, for me, it's just the perfect moment, is that I've made so many friends here in Denver. I've had the best experience here in Denver with, and really most of it goes a lot out to Phil, you guys in CPRA, just hands down, just like the best fucking goddamn nonprofit ever. There's lack of profit. I mean, your poor kids, they're probably starving. Phil.
That's why my kid's not wearing pants right now.
Your children can't afford pants. I want to.
I can relate.
Well, we don't want you to wear pants, but no, again, it's that's what's awesome to me too, is that like I see Phil's a fucking father of 2 and a husband, and he's just doing what he loves. And same thing with Brian, who's now a father of 1, and Livesay, who's a father of none that he knows of. Am I right? Oh! You fuck, dude. Dude, you fuck. You got a big old dick.
Bobo Joe,
like way more than both of you other guys. Way more.
But again, that's what for me also. This is my like kind of like, if we were all of us were in like elementary school again, and we're in Valentine's Day, and it's like, this is me like dropping off my handmade Valentine's gift and be like, I hope they check yes, like, because I am so excited to see what you guys can come up with that, because like that's
on the sweet tart a little bit.
That's how you feel about it, dude. That's weird.
I know I feel weird. You should. Now
I feel weird.
I'm saying that it's if anyone is interested, also, because I've reached out to a lot of people, and this is also kind of a first come first served basis. First people that kind of want to contribute to the fucking Eddie's high. Don't worry about him. The first people that want to, this is Red Herring Take 2, where I really wanted to try and use Red Herring to kind of introduce all the great friends I've made in this, and Brian and Eric are both on that album. Now that I've finally pulled my head on my ass and I learned how to master and do things right, it sounds a lot better. But the point,
in record timing, like the point. Look how self-deprecating this guy is.
I hate myself, and I hate you more. So what does that mean? The point I was just trying to make fundamentally is that I love everyone in this scene. I love everyone that's watching. We wouldn't. I wouldn't give a shit about doing any of this if it wasn't for you guys even giving a shit. And this feels great to just like kind of be like on our own weird like Jimmy Kimmel but Dickie Barrett isn't in charge of like music. But he is though. He is. He's the fucking Google it, IMDb it. Don't make me pull up another screen. He's in charge of. So I'm just saying, Dickie Barrett, if you're listening. I'll be on Jimmy when this all ends. I'll be on Fallon, dude, or Kimmel or whatever. I don't fucking care. I love you guys. Thanks for fucking being part of all this. It's awesome.
Well, and like Nate was saying, I think when we collectively realized that we had the capacity to do stuff like this, and that it would be fun for all of us, that we could bring cats like you in, this is what we should do. But I digress. Phil, I want to ask you a question. Are you ready?
Sure.
Anything?
I think so.
You'll like. I can ask you anything, right?
Go for it. Shoot it. Yep. I just to let you know, I'm not holding a dildo right now. I don't know that I have the power to say anything.
All right. Well, all right. Actually, I'll just.
The shake weight.
Just doesn't have the fucking hands on it. Phil, can you tell me? It doesn't have to be one, but can you tell me one or a couple or whatever of your most like historic music events for you, like live shows that inspired you, that got you into the whole thing?
Well, actually, if you listen to the last CPRA Denver Punk Rock podcast that we dropped yesterday, Lala and I actually talk about our top 5 favorite shows of all time. And one of those that I mentioned was Happy Skanksgiving with Last Real Hero, PCP. For me, that show was taxing on my brain, taxing on my heart. The venue wasn't very kind to us because that was like our first big thing there. Not that Tennison's Tap's a bad place, but it was just, we were brand new to the scene.
It was new.
And seeing it all come together in one massive effort, like, really gave me that inspiration that, like, this is what I want to do, and this is what's fun, and this is why we do it. And when I saw those kids moshing in the pit, I was like, we did it.
Yeah.
We did it happen.
Yeah, no, awesome.
I'm pretty sure that was either our first or second show at Toad's Tavern. Like, I mean,
Phil, what got you? Who's talking to me?
No, you go for it. Let's
Try it again.
Say it to me.
say it again.
Jen was saying,
Like I said, I might have not.
Don't you talk about that.
Well, I just. So for me, like I guess I just kind of saw CPRA just kind of pop up in the scene, and all of a sudden you guys are just all over the place doing a bunch of shows and shit. What kind of got you? What got you into it?
So we actually started in August 2016, and the whole point of it was I went to see the Mahones. They're a Celtic punk band from Ontario, Canada, and they were playing the Colorado Irish Festival. And given it was like 107 that day, because it was like July or something like that, but they're actually very well known in the Celtic punk scene in Colorado. And so when I went to the show, I expected to see like at least 30, 40 kids there, 30, 40 people, whatever, enjoying the show. And it turns out when we got there, it was me and this other guy to see a 10-person band by ourselves in this giant in the Clement Park amphitheater. So I started thinking, I'm like, God, the band, they just keep waving at us, and they're like, their photographers taking our pictures, and we're trying to make it look like there's this giant like pit behind us. We're trying to do all these crazy, wacky scenes, and I felt like shit for them. I was like, this band deserves way more attention that they're getting, and I blame that on the promoters of the Celtic, the Irish festival, because they didn't do enough to cater towards like the underground scene. It was mainly to Irish people or Irish people of descent. They're like, oh, hey, come to this festival. But they weren't like saying, hey, come down and check out this Celtic punk band. And they didn't put it on in Westward. Like, it was on news. Like, who the fuck watches 9 News? So that was the whole point. And then Andy and I went to see, I think Cheap Perfume had just started out. They played their first show at Three Kings. And again, like 5 people showed up. And we were like, fuck this. This isn't right. Like, would you rather go see The Roots with 400 other people or go down to Three Kings or, Lion's Lair and see a show with 40 people and actually get up close to an artist, actually watch them play and see them play without having to buy a pair of fucking binoculars? So that's the whole point. Like the scene in Colorado, it needs a voice, and that's what we're here for.
Oh yeah.
Totally. I would choose small, divey venues any day, even having played some of the bigger ones with the Ataris and stuff like that. Going back to the intimate, sweaty, hot, divey bar is just nothing can beat that.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's so much more personal, man.
Yeah,
yeah.
Personal.
So much more connected.
You're not going to get
that
good
note, too.
sound, but I don't care. It's whatever. It's the feel. You feel it up there, so I don't know. Doesn't compare.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, and
totally agree.
On that note, we went to the Misfits last summer, and I enjoyed that show up until the Misfits came on, and then I was like, it was overproduced. It didn't feel like them. Doyle kept throwing his bass around the whole time.
Yeah.
Play it, how
Was it Doyle? Yeah, he kept breaking every single bass that they gave him. I was like, you know what? He wasn't even playing. They had a backstage. The guy from the Cro-Mags was playing.
Well, I feel for that guy because he's had to deal with the rivalry.
He wasn't even playing
the whole time and just be.
Yeah, but
who? Jerry Only?
Yeah.
Jerry Only. Sorry, Jerry Only kept breaking. He wasn't even playing bass. He was just breaking it. You would break. They had a bass and break it.
Jerry's fucking his bass
all
up.
This is going on. The bass line is still going, and I look in the back, and you can see the Cro-Mags guy playing bass behind the curtain.
Wow! That's next level. I saw them at the last Denver Riot Fest, and it was I made bets with friends and my brother, like how long of a set do we think we'll get? And I was wrong. I thought they would be off the stage within like 10-15 minutes tops, if they even made it to Denver, like 50
right? Songs?
Yeah, they ended up playing an extended set, but there were all these moments where like Jerry's pissing off Glenn and Doyle's just trying to be like, we're playing the song, we're just playing this song, you know what we're gonna do, we're gonna play the song. So
and it was funny because the camera was trying to make Glenn look taller, and they just couldn't do it.
Yeah. Give up. It's been a while.
Hey, I hate to interject, but you guys remember it's 420, right? Why the fuck aren't you smoking right now? Where's your weed?
I never smoked before. I did the shed, and that's why
care.
I sound more intelligent than normal.
Listen, Rich smoked.
I'm celebrating later tonight after my kids go to bed
Here,
because
you
I
know
need
what?
to be.
Fine. Who has a lighter?
No,
Who has
I
a
already
lighter?
ate it. You're gonna fucking
Wu-Tang. All right, here we go.
There you go.
Yeah.
Since Eric's fucking calling me out, fuck you, dude.
That's fucking right, man. I
Fuck.
gotta live vicariously, man. You know I ain't doing that shit.
Clear it.
Yeah, me and Eric played
I got
tennis
something.
and tap a few times, and one time I took pictures of him over the bathroom
There's
stall
already
while he was
Vaseline on it.
changing, and then I sent him to.
It's generic version. It's great.
There's other ways to smoke weed. I feel like that's. Oh, you have a pipe to smoke out of this whole time?
Right behind you.
I want to use my hand.
Let me load it in your nostril. And I'll suck it out the other one.
That's the thing too. This is so fucking. There.
Stop being a pussy.
Thank you,
Butt
Eric.
That's the
You won't forget
Yes.
that 420, Dickard.
a whole new balance.
Take it away, Brian. Go ahead.
Yeah, that kiss deserved it.
The merengue.
Reggae music.
Wow. Yeah. I see how this is literally the first day that I've ever imbibed.
What?
He's high.
Yeah, I can
This is
see
the
how this
first
makes
day that I've
people
ever.
people forget stuff.
Like, you don't kiss your friends.
This
in
is
the
the
mouth.
first day ever.
Wait.
No, that's
Forever.
that's all the time. But I think Eddie
What are you
needs to
drinking,
show
Phil?
his fucking tattoo again, because I think you should be proud.
Hockey
Of it.
beer. Wilson.
I think you should be proud of your tattoo, Eddie. Show it off for everyone.
Finished.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see it.
It's good enough for me. Why isn't it good enough for you?
How's the baby, Brian? How's the baby?
Show it. Show it off.
He's good.
Show it off. I don't care
Sleeping.
how much. Just put your
It's not done.
Can I ask you a question?
SpongeBob.
This is Doodle Bomb. Okay.
Can I ask
Can you guys see that? Can you guys see that at all?
He bends over and speaks with his rear.
Hey man, what are you gonna do with that pineapple?
Zoom in on that shit.
What do you want us to do with it?
You can't see that.
Little Nicky shit.
Little Nicky shit. It is Hitler's birthday.
We got.
Yeah.
There's a.
Cram it up your slam hole.
Fuck that guy.
Yeah, fucking with your schnarius. Fucking with a pineapple, dude.
I could make boobs. In my head.
What are you doing? Don't even worry about
That is. I gotta leave.
Did you guys step on the dog?
All right, Nate has a plan. Nate has a plan.
It's not. You guys can talk through it. Don't even worry about it.
Well, it's really distracting.
Well, then talk about things that you guys want to talk about.
Oh, so
I bought.
Ask questions.
We're on Pornhub.
No,
And
Every night.
But
Tell me it's not two girls in a cup.
it's
Well,
just
it's
two.
not
Boys in the
that.
pup.
We don't got that many girls around here usually, so simple as that.
Yeah,
But
we have a lot of
Cup
cups.
half empty, cup half.
plenty of cups.
What about two fills in a cup?
Two
This
fills,
y'all
one
killing
cup.
Phil.
That's a good one. 2 fills, 1 cup. I want to see it. I'll watch that one.
Yeah, you want the overflow.
I'll promote it. 2 fills, 1 cup. Jesus Christ, Nate.
Just don't worry about it, guys.
This is disgusting what you're doing.
I know it's disgusting. Don't worry about it. Fucking deal with it, guys. Fuck. Why am I the weirdo? You guys
Yeah, you tell me.
talk about fucking new albums.
It's so
this thing talks
distracting.
about his fucking Sunset Silhouette. What you got?
Well,
What you got? What you got?
Sunset
What you got?
Silhouette has been putting shit out
I know.
fast as hell.
I know, but like,
What is coming
what's in
next?
the pipeline besides Corona?
That's what I. What's in the pipeline besides Corona?
He might be AF Bay. You know, like he might be
Yeah.
AF Baby.
Yeah, and I can't see because I'm watching the ridiculous shit that you're doing. You need one. You lost half. That's a whole chunk.
Listen, will you fucking be
That's
so
a whole
proud
chunk.
of what I'm about to do? Just fucking
Nate.
Will you please chill and just
How can I just chill?
Because you need to just chill and know how awesome this is gonna be in a second.
Hey, Rich, I'm gonna get you to have your first experience with marijuana in a shed with a mega hot box.
Okay, good point.
And
I
then,
forgot about
and
that.
then let's put you on. And yeah, you can't see anyone you're talking to because you gotta watch me fuck with this thing that you're not allowed to talk about.
You know what? You're right, and I'm sorry for even saying that. Let's just like make it up.
I just had to prove it to you.
Make it up for
Fuck, did everybody go?
That's great.
Let's see how we're still doing
Ah, why is that good? And it's not good. It's
what
bad.
What are you doing out of your crib,
It's
young
awful.
man?
Look what you did. Look what you did. He's gone forever.
Don't worry.
Forever.
Brian.
He dipped out. He's fucking gone.
Holy crap.
Oh shit! Now he's at Phil's house.
So actually, I have a question about the new album for you guys.
Yes.
Brian,
Why?
there he is.
Brian, where's your kid, dude? Your kid is smoking.
I have a question. There's no one there.
It's gone. It's gone. He's deleted. He's deleted. I deleted your kid. Go double check. I might have deleted him. Sorry, that was next
Oh,
level creepy.
by the way, Eric, I have something to say to you. We don't have anything to review for a little off.
Thank
so.
you.
It's
Thank
coming.
You guys,
Dude.
it's coming. Okay.
It's coming.
I've been waiting on this one.
Trust me, we're a little. We've been a little frustrated too with how long it's taken, but dude, it's right around the corner.
First single within days, right?
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, I'm way stoked, man. I think you guys will dig it. I hope so. You better. I'll be mad.
Sure will.
Great. I heard it.
Do you want to start a little off cover band
He
called
seen
A
it.
Little Frustrated?
I synced it.
Whoa, what the fuck?
All right. Am I wrong?
There's angry dogs
Now it's
outside.
switched.
Oh shit!
Sunset,
Everything froze.
Sunset Silhouette
You still there?
has lots of new music.
What was that?
That was probably Ash.
We had to postpone.
Was that an
recording
ash
'cause
can?
everything that's going on.
All right, so
One
I
mine.
guess we didn't pay for fucking Zoom, so we might have to end this call in 2 minutes and 6 seconds, but we'll get a new one going.
That's okay because we got Twitch going on upstairs.
But and again, so Phil, do you have any? Brian, would you like to come back and talk some more? Because we kind of fucked up this, but this is fun. Like
Whatever works.
I want to
Sure,
talk more
whatever.
about Sunset Silhouette. We're gonna be doing this all day, so yeah. So I just wanna, I guess. Why don't we upgrade to pro? No, go.
Hey
fuck
man,
yourself.
I've left my house 4 times in like over a month. Any sort of contact with other humans is nice.
Oh, dude, that's what I'm saying. It's great, and we're definitely gonna be keeping it up. It's not a thing that we are not gonna do. It's just we're gonna.
Mortal Kombat.
We are
Gun.
gonna do
Ammo.
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 Finish him.
I don't know. Let's see. Okay, how about this? We're gonna get real high, and then we'll talk maybe in like 30 minutes and see how much more this is gonna be ridiculous.
Cool.
Yeah,
Just
right.
got
We got
message. And as long as I'm not like changing a shitty
Yeah, shoot
diaper.
me a
or some
message.
shit.
I think that's the best time.
Brian, if you do, please stream it.
Yeah, I might be doing the same.
Yeah, fellas.
Okay, we're gonna come back at you for shit sixes. Straight 6 shits at 6 o'clock. I'll even poop. Jen was gonna film her poop this morning because apparently it was a foot long. It was like
It was over a foot. It was
like
a foot
6
and a half.
cubics, dude.
What?
Tune back in for Shits Aplenty on 420.
18 inches, my friends.
All right, so
I almost took a picture. I was really impressed.
I'm just gonna run.
But I didn't want
What the fuck?
Look, it
What is
doesn't
going
even
on
tell you.
there?
It doesn't even tell you when it's gonna come. It says less than 1 minute. It's just like, ready? Are you ready to come?
All right.
Cause less than 1 minute. Listen, I love you guys. Thanks for fucking coming in and being part of this. And we'll pick this up when our fucking expiration
sure.
wears off. We'll reinstall it. There it is. All right, we're done. Now let's go to Twitch.
I was gonna say keep doing cool shit.
No, let me just go this.
I think that was a pretty
Twitch,
good one.
done.
That was
Now we're
shit
live.
show or fun shit show.
They can't hear us, can they?
No. Now it's Twitch audio.
Sweet.
Oh wait, no, they can't hear us. Fuck!
Gotta go.
Well, now you're doing it again.
I know. I should have rematched it.
Round 3.
Oh,
You can pick whoever you want.
Well, I'm gonna.
I'm trying to remember how to do mercy.
Oh.
There's a thing in this where you can do a mercy at the end of the stage.
Make
so
me
if
get
you
more
like,
life.
yeah, exactly. So if you do
You're assuming I'm gonna lose.
a mercy on somebody, you give them a chance to kind of fight you back, take the win from you.
You're like Muhammad Ali.
We're drinking enough.
Well, here, sir.
That's what I'm about to do. I got a shot cord somewhere. Right there.
Yeah, I'm gonna switch to fight stick. So I can do that now. Yeah, there you go.
Okay. Well, do it. Do them both at the same time. Play the flight stick.
I wish. I wish I was that talented.
Okay, what is block? R2? I don't know. Yeah, here. Find it. I heard that would be good. Okay, I just remembered the buttons now.
Yes, it's still weird playing this with the fight stick because of the block button, but
Yes, kick with a bitch.
Oh, that did it.
sounds like some 420 going on over there.
First strikeout of the day.
Sounds like a grand slam. From James.
I think the grand.
Mercy me.
Have to like do a bump.
Oh yeah,
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, I remember how.
Run around some bases?
Yeah.
I thought Mercy was.
Is Mercy like a babality was back in the day, or is there still babalities?
No, it's kind of like that.
Yeah. I want to rematch.
Where I just basically give you a chance to redeem yourself. But
this is it.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've had played those tactics.
I know the numbers now. I don't.
I might recommend outdoors.
Yeah, to start for sure.
We have a long
Fight this time? You're just gonna let him
Yeah,
take
stab him with a
victory.
fucking antler right there.
Eddie, you gonna actually put up a fight this time? Or you just gonna let him
Yeah,
take
stab him with
victory?
a fucking antler right there.
I believe you.
Freeze.
Oh. Oh shit. Pick a wall, I'll put you through it.
Freeze.
Oh. Oh shit.
Oh.
Pick a wall, I'll put you through it. Oh.
Oh. Ooh. Oh. I guess ice is stronger than the rope. Is that what it comes on?
It looks
I
like
don't know,
Jake
they
to me.
didn't-
I guess
They didn't
ice.
rock, paper, scissors. They didn't cover that in the game I used to play. Rock, paper, scissors. I don't think rope was in it.
No one played that on video games. Wait, I remember that.
That's not true.
Fatality. Rock.
Have you ever heard of Alex Kidd?
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't forget his name though.
He just said it.
That's not true. Alex Kidd. Have you ever heard of Alex Kidd?
Are you thin ice or reborn?
Oh
Even
shit.
though?
Me? I'm reborn.
You're reborn?
I've never been born.
Oh. I ain't never been born.
He's unborn.
3, 4.
Oh! Oh! Oh no. Oh.
He's like the unborn identity.
The unborn identity.
Ah, I just hit my. Man down.
Clearly it wasn't your funny bone.
Ah, it was like the funny bone on
We
my
died.
Oh, did you die again?
It was the funny
I
bone.
was never live. Wait. Here goes.
Watch the eyeball pop off.
Oh, wow. Yeah.